Let's do it. Alden, welcome to Blathering Backstage.
How are you, man?
How are you? Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much. This is great to meet you, like on this platform, on this stage. Like, we're doing cool stuff. This is awesome. Thank you for everyone who's like been sitting in the other channel for the last 6 minutes. We were getting shit figured out. We don't get paid for this, Alden. We're just here having fun on a Saturday night and just getting shit together, man.
That's true.
Together.
We get paid in love.
We do get paid in love. We get paid in love. The people who are here. So if you're spending your Saturday night with us, thank you so much. If you were over in that other channel or have that link, go ahead and tell your friends to use this one instead.
Indeed.
This is Blathering Backstage.
Yeah, there is a 1 minute test. Ignore that. You should know where you are by now.
Yeah.
I know I'm looking at my YouTube subscriptions. It still says that there's one upcoming, but it looks like everybody has made it here. You know, because why iron everything out when we could just add useless fucking AI features that nobody wants to StreamYard and overcomplicate the entire deck? You would
think that they would make this shit easier for us, but they don't. They make you pay for stuff, start trials, get your credit card information, and then say, oh no, you need to do this shit over on StreamYard, not on YouTube. But hey, like I said, we don't get paid. We're just here hanging out. We're here, though. We made it. We're all here. I see people here already chiming in. Jared, Ty Pilot, Kingsport Cal is here. We're going to have a great night.
Kingsport, David Mackay, Brady's here.
This is
Cinder's
awesome.
Here. Eli's here. And yeah, man, I'm so excited that you decided to do this. Loved the idea. Jumped on the idea. Ken's out. Ken is out. Undisclosed location? Something like that. What were you saying?
Yeah, so no, Ken's actually incapacitated in my basement. I set up a series of games and movie trivia, like production torture traps for him to have to be able to get out. He needs something to do. He needed an escape. He needed something to really kind of get back in his spirit. So I figured that would kind of get him in the mood. He'll be back by Monday. So I imagine the regular show will be here on Monday. But so if you're wondering where Ken is, that's where he's out. So yeah, I didn't get to be Pope. So that's where I kind of went the other way there. They're on. So
gotcha.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, man.
So Saturday with us. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Blathering Backstage is just this chill stream, second screen lounge. We're going to hang out. This is the after show, if there was a show tonight. The behind the music look at the Blathering at any time and whatever other cool shit Alden and Ken are up to. So thanks for joining us here.
Yeah, everybody. Thank you for being here. I'm sorry. I keep looking at my phone because I'm just trying to get everything sorted.
No, it's fine. You sort. I'm gonna start telling folks about what we're doing today. Here's the other thing, guys. we're flying by wires here. So if like you can't hear me, if you can't see something, put something in the chat. I'll say something. If I got music, if something just starts happening, I've got so many damn bells and whistles in front of me. I'll know. I got iPads and screens and all sorts of shit. So we're gonna have fun. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna spin a wheel of topics at some point tonight, folks. We're gonna take your calls. You're gonna come in. Open forum, big open tent. We're gonna put the link here in the chat. So we're just trusting you, no needing to be on Patreon or anything like that tonight. This is the adults are away, the kids are loose. So we're going to have fun with it. So just be cool.
Yeah. Be cool. Be a normal person. That's all I ask of you, which I know might be a lot to ask of some of our listeners. Cal, but no, I'm kidding. Cal's a vet of the Ken sphere. And okay. So I guess just YouTube mobile that's being annoying, because I'm looking at our channel right now. It looks like there's only one
live. I got it fixed. I've got just the one live. Yep. We should just have the one, and we've got a new invite link. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll get that posted here soon. You can send out that beacon to the folks that you had already told about.
Indeed. So I'm excited. So your idea was to do the Saturday night stream. Ken's out. I heard you talking about it. I was like, hey, we should do something, because we had never properly met. We met about 10 minutes ago, at least properly, outside of Blue Sky chat and things like that. But yeah, you've been rapidly becoming one of my favorite just internet people that I know. And there's going to be a little bit of sports talk, which will be very funny. But that's how I knew you first, was as being a sports expert. And then I find out that you do all this other stuff. And then I found out that you have kids. And I was like, this guy's got a whole life. And he's hanging out with us. But no, great stuff.
No, I appreciate it. That's so nice. And I've been, you again, love back to you. Been doing a lot of listening to your stuff over the years and appreciate it. We actually, Alden, we had this is like one of those like missed opportunity things, like on Craigslist.
Yeah.
We were in the same room together years ago at 2019 Star Wars Celebration. We both attended the same live Force Center recording, and that was not the biggest room in the world.
Yeah, no, that was a tiny room. The Alulu Brewery. I'll never forget its name, because it was fun to say.
It was, and they had like a cool little Star Warsy menu that was going on. I had like a blue drink cocktail that was pretty good.
That was a packed room.
Question about underwear in space. Yeah, and it was great. It was a good time.
Me, you, obviously, Ken, Joseph, and Dorina, Alex and Steve from Black Series Rebels, James Bainey, who was on Resistance at the time. There was our friends Canon Cantina were there. That was a room full of really cool people. Good time. If anyone else was there, identify yourself.
That is like the nexus point of our little Kenverse here with all the different like folks around. So it's very cool. Very, very cool. So yeah, thanks everybody again for joining us here. Great to see the folks chiming in. I am. Yeah, Brady says again, don't forget about being our white Jesus. And Ken has joked about that before, and I said, don't tell Alden I'm white Jesus, because I'm trying to stay on his good side. We don't want to like take any negative stereotypes off the start.
It's been a rough week for Steve as it relates to all forms of Christianity. It seems like, because the white Jesus stuff, but then also, what the hell happened in Italy, man? They just they didn't get the memo. They whiffed on picking El Papa Stevino. Michelangelo, as we know, would have been your papal name, Pope Michelangelo.
Mikey, Pope Michelangelo. Even. Yeah, Pope Mikey. Who doesn't love that? I think they just weren't quite ready for someone as young and progressive. So they didn't quite, or they knew as an American they picked the wrong one. Look, I'm still holding out for there being like a clerical error somewhere. Since they did pick an American Pope, there's a chance of that. But we'll see. And Cal, you're asking, am I going to cut my hair? No, I've come too far. We're going to keep it long for a while at least. And this was a COVID project, so we're going to keep it up.
I also did my thing was I'm not going to cut my hair until there's a vaccine. And I think I stuck to that. And so my hair is really thick and curly and everything. So I had like a mop down like my shoulders and everything, but it's just
nice.
That's as you well know, it is work. And people don't realize that it's work. And yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah.
Those were dark days.
Yeah. Conditioner's not cheap, and you got to use a lot of it. So yeah, those are, we're getting through it though. We're getting through it. We're gonna have fun tonight. We're having a good time. We're gonna take some calls here pretty soon. Alden is like a reporter in like a war zone here, just like typing away, getting correspondence out. So we appreciate that. So the other thing I wanted to ask you was, have you? I've seen some of your takes on Blue Sky on it. Have you like had a chance to just say Andor things recently into a microphone to anyone yet, or have they only been in text?
Only been in text. Occasionally, it'll come up, or I'll guest on friends' shows and stuff. But my Star Wars show has been on hold since like spring of last year. Not for any bad reason, but just because Casually was busy in that it was going to be like that because the shows keep aligning with Lord of the Rings and House of the Dragon. So I knew that was going to be coming up, and we were putting all our effort into Anytime and just life in general. And I also kind of want to reboot it, which is coming soon, and more on that later. But there hasn't been a huge, big Star Wars thing for me in quite a while, but it's coming. It is coming.
Alrighty, well that's good. Well, is there any? I just want to give you this chance here. Now that you have a platform here in front of a microphone with the folks online, is there anything from this latest arc of Andor that hasn't been said that you think needs to be said, or that you want to make sure is emphasized on your part?
That hasn't been said. I'm not quite sure. I mean, I loved it. I mean, it's I think it's the best arc of the show. I think that Andor in general is a show that I find is really unique in that it is masterful on almost every level to me, but has some of the most brain dead commentary and discourse that I've ever seen of people acting like they discovered fire. And it's just like that is baffling and will always hang over it, that's not a unique problem because it happened with Last Jedi as well. In certain ways, a film that I love so much. There's nothing negative about the work. So that's been weird to witness, but this arc I think was like the most I felt like Star Wars cinema had arrived in Star Wars television. It was everything that I think the show has been building toward. It was the promise of the spy thriller. It was, I think, controversial this might be for like Rogue One hardcores, but like I think the actual battle of the Gorman Massacre, because it wasn't as one-sided as maybe we thought, given the name of the event. It wasn't just gunning people down left, right, and sideways. There was, a firefight. And I think that was the best, like, made war footage, war cinema that Star Wars has done. It was really, really visceral and thrilling. I think all this stuff's really great. I think that the only thing that I would maybe want to say is, and again, not an original thought, but I think that Cyril's arc, in Star Wars, there are all types of people that get better than they deserve, right? And some people would argue that applies to a lot of Darksiders. Some people, we have discourse all the time about whether or not redemption in Star Wars is thematically truthful or whatever. I'm not interested in getting into that right now because I don't have 10 hours to discuss the Force and the magical metaphor. But on the flip, you get people that don't get what they deserve at all, you think, like, or get worse than they deserve. Cyril Karn got exactly what he deserved. And that is so rare in these stories where it was like, I could not have asked for better to realize his insignificance right before an insurgent leader that he helped prop up, thinking that he was playing 5D chess, puts a blaster bolt right in the back of his head. It was just spectacular. He's a detestable character, a very modern metaphor. And I think it's brilliant that he has the "who are you" moment with Cassian. And then right after that, Cassian recognizes the young Frenchman who we all were frustrated with the previous week for killing Cinta. And that's the brilliance of it, is that like, if you stay the course of good, you'll be remembered despite your mistakes, even if your mistakes are horrible. But if you stay the course that Cyril, chose, it doesn't matter if you're clocking in 24/7 with your Nazi girlfriend, all the resources, the nice job, the promotions, everything, you will be nothing. So that was great. I thought it was awesome stuff.
Yeah, no, I totally agree about the character that you finally need, like seeing what you want coming to them actually happening. That we don't really get enough of that in such a satisfying way. And holy shit, they nailed it. So I have to give them props there. But yeah, no, I'm so glad we got to get a little exclusive Alden opinions on Andor. That's like for the Blathering Backstage. That's a big deal for our first show. So thank you so much for that. Cal notes this in the comments. Glasses talk. I know you like Alden's pair. I have I have complimented you on glasses before. You said you got your
Yeah.
glasses at Zenny. So what is your like? I've seen a few different pairs there. Like, talk to me about your glasses philosophy here.
Yeah, so my glasses philosophy in general, much like yours, like the ones you're wearing right now are ones that I'd probably wear. I like the square shape. I like a rectangle action. You know, like these are the ones that I'll normally wear like around the house.
Yeah.
They're like slightly less like for air. They have some more. They're more beat up.
Right.
I also have. They're just on the shelves. I have the same ones as these as sunglasses. I have ones that are purple that people have seen me wear on Anytime sometimes because they are Anytime purple. I have some that I don't wear a lot that have a wood finish, which like I don't know when I'm gonna break those out. Maybe the next time I go to like Pacific Northwest or something. Like I have glasses that like a lot of things, I get very, I don't know what the word is, I guess fixated on aesthetics for occasions. And this isn't just like for me. Like you should see how long it takes me in like a character creator, like in a video game, because I can't just have fun.
Right.
I take them through an arc. Like playing Baldur's Gate, my first character was a dwarf, and I like made his beard more elaborate as the story went on. I would change his hair. When I played Jedi Survivor, I changed Cal's look depending on where I am in the story.
Yeah.
Based on how I feel for the arc and everything. With Kay Vess and Outlaws, I change her outfit based on the terrain of the planet.
Same. Yeah.
So I'm super about. So I do that with myself too. I will always be pretty much wearing black head to toe, but the glasses are situational. But you were saying that you're a big glasses guy as well. Have you always been that way, or was it just like a something that you adopted when you got the hair because you were like, I need to maximize my coolness?
No, I got glasses in high school because I couldn't see the board anymore. I went home and was like, Dad, I can't see. And so yeah, we got glasses. I remember putting glasses on for the first time and crying because I was like, holy shit, this is what the world looks like. And so it was a life-changing experience. And I remember kind of looking at my dad like, you bastard, like you waited till I was like 12 years old or 13. I don't know however old I was, middle school, high school. You waited till this long to take me to the eye doctor and make sure I could see right. So he's like, yeah, well, you never complained before. So fair to him. But, and then I tried the contacts thing for a little while. And I have a really bad astigmatism. So I had to wear the contacts that were like heavy as shit. And if they were just a tiny bit out of line, I may as well have just not been wearing, or it was worse. Right. And so I was like walking around doing this all the time, trying to like reset my contacts. And so eventually I just went glasses, and I like to accessorize a little bit. So I was just like, you know, and you know, these weren't like, I've had these for probably close to 10 years now, like this style. Yeah. And I kind of went with them because like thinner glasses were in back then. And so I just wanted to be like a little bit different. And like this was when Ray-Ban sunglasses were like kind of getting cool again.
For sure.
So I was like, I'll just go the Ray-Ban regular glasses. And so
I'm right there with you. I had the same feeling. I've always felt like the thicker, bigger frames were cooler, like a little bit of a throwback, but also timeless. And I feel like, yeah, with you too on the accessorizing, like I don't wear jewelry. I don't really have rings or bracelets. I did for a time, and I guess I could still because my ears are still pierced. I had gauges that went to like a size 0. So I had like black plugs for a long time, and sometimes purple plugs, but now it's shrunk so that I would either need to restretch or just wear earrings. And that was pretty much it. But I'm with you on the contacts. Contact life is not for me. I've done it. I did it once, like for a play where it's like, it didn't make sense to have the glasses, which I don't think anyone really gave a shit except for me. People would have been like, who cares? But I was just like, no, they didn't have these glasses during this period. I need to have contact. Yes. You know, for fucking community theater where no one was paying us.
Attaboy.
But yeah.
No, I love that. No, that's awesome. I was gonna say, I tried the contacts that didn't work for me. They were better for like sports and stuff. I played sports in high school, and so that again, it wouldn't work because I would blink and I couldn't fucking see anything. So what are you gonna do? But yeah, no, good glasses talk. I saw Ken Plume checking in here in the chat saying, here, I just want to, let me click on this and just highlight this. This is somehow feels wrong and dangerous. I'm here to check in on you boys. Ken, thank you for stepping up. You know, you're not, you know, Ken Knapsack, but you're not Step Ken, but you're the Ken that stepped up. You're the Ken that's here. So
it's true. And much like Ken Knapsack, you are also Kenuff. And that is important. All Kens welcome. I was about to say all Kens matter, but I didn't want to accidentally play into a ridiculous. I don't want that to be a thing. But all Kens welcome, absolutely. Ken,
Absolutely.
Ken Plume, Ken Knapsack, former WWE wrestler Ken Kennedy. Who else? Who else is a cool Ken that we like?
I don't know a Ken. I don't know a single Ken other than Ken Knapsack. That like I don't have any Kens in like. I don't think I have another Ken in my phone, Alden.
Yeah, I don't know. We got Ken.
We're not making a lot of Kens anymore.
Ken Burns. There is Ken falling off.
Maybe.
Well, I guess Kenneth is the Ken Plume. Are you a Ken? Just you could do a yes or no on that one, or choose to not disclose. Because I know
Charlie South Park. Yeah. That's the only one.
Kenny from South Park. That's one.
Yeah.
Charlie Ashby from the Imperial Senate podcast is a Charlie on his birth certificate. He's not a Charles. So I cannot assume that all Kens are
That's
Kenneths.
fair. No, that's totally fair. And Osvetness says, would you accept Ryan Gosling as he is? I think he's like a honorary Ken at this point. So I think that would totally count. Okay, Kenny the Jet Smith, absolutely. Right. Brady's absolutely right there. Kenny the Jet Smith, basketball player. I'm derived from Smith.
Is Kenny the Jet Smith a current basketball player?
No, he's a former basketball player. He's one of the guys on the TNT basketball show that everyone loves. That's like the Inside the NBA.
Oh, okay.
Like their halftime crew with Charles Barkley and Shaq.
I asked because it sounds like such an old school name that I was are they still giving nicknames out like that?
Oh,
no,
yeah.
Where are the nicknames?
No, we don't have good nicknames. No, we don't have good sports nicknames anymore. They're not as like as creative. Kevin Durant's got a pretty good one as the Slim Reaper. That's pretty cool. He's a tall, like skinny guy. I like the Slim Reaper, but
that just dawned on me. We're gonna get into sports talk in a little bit, but like I think about the greats of because we're close in age, right? I think
I'm 34.
Yeah, that's the same thing.
Yeah, so we're
so I would have been in middle school. You would have been in high school. So it's like the heroes, the icons of our coming up. Even people that like don't really watch sports, like me, would know. No nicknames. Like LeBron doesn't really have one.
The King, but it's not like it's more of like tongue in cheek. But it's not like it's like more of a tongue in cheek. We don't really like call him the King all the time. And if they do, it's kind of like they're kind of giving him shit for it.
Yeah, and it's the social age has kind of changed things, right? Because I guess like his handles are that, but it's like that's a handle.
Right.
It is weird. I wish that's something that I think would probably sell stuff. We need more nicknames.
Yeah, we do. We need better. Yeah, we need better nicknames. There's a few in football that have like done okay, but nothing like. I mean, we had a really good one. Tyrann Mathieu, who was a defensive back at LSU, went to the NFL. The Honey Badger. It's always a great nickname.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Player. That's always really good. The Muscle Hamster. That was a running back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for a few years. The Muscle Hamster. Yeah, he was just a short, jacked guy. So
I'm into that. Kingsport Cal says that was cute to hear y'all's ages. Look, Cal, you knew what you were getting into, man. Cal, you're actually part of the babysitting committee with Ken Plume.
Right. Yeah.
We're gonna have to keep
making sure we don't get in too much trouble.
On track here.
Yeah.
L Train, Captain America, The Chosen One.
Yeah, The Chosen One. Yeah.
Chosen One. That's
L Train. That's too bad. Captain America. That's also Christian Pulisic, the soccer player. He's also Captain America. So that's a pretty decent one because he represents the U.S. on the soccer stage. Is like, see, look, we can make good soccer players on the men's side, of course. But anyway, so we'll take some calls here pretty soon. We'll post the link here. I was vending 91. Yeah, let's go 91, boys. Post the link in here so get some of you guys in to call in, and then we're also going to spin the wheel here in a little bit, just to see just for topics. Producer Steve's made a wheel that I'm gonna see if I can pull up here real quick and share my screen. Boom! I got to take off that silly little overlay. See, folks, I don't really do this very much. I don't really know like what I'm doing all the time.
Yeah,
so I got to do that. Boom! So now we got a wheel. We're gonna spin a wheel later. Talk about some topics. Take some calls. So yeah, make sure you get on in here.
See, look at this. So Ken Plume says. Producer Steve, anytime Alden, which I don't disagree with. Eli says it's the tapestry man, but Eli, only you call me that. So like that, if it didn't catch on, that Brady says doesn't know anything. Is that you dragging yourself or giving yourself a nickname? Because it's a little long. We don't want to call you if you don't know anything, Brady. We could just call you Brady Snow.
Brady, yeah, well, that's I don't hate that. Brady keeps us young, like even keeps us young though, Alden, like because he taps into the. I don't know actually how young Brady is. I think Abe Brady is in college age since I've heard him refer to class and stuff like that. But hey, you can go back to school whenever you want.
Having met Brady and hung out with Brady literally less than a week ago.
Oh, that's right. I'm a fool. Yeah, please.
Brady is young, but is sort of one of those age ambiguous people where if he was like, I'm 19, I would believe him. But if he said I was 30, I'd believe him.
Gotcha.
Like is very calm, very measured, knows a lot about the public transpo, as we know. Yeah, no, he's good pick. I would pick Brady in a like zombie apocalypse situation, which is a thing that I think about maybe too much of like who would be in the group and who wouldn't.
Okay.
But we need navigators. We need people that know infrastructure. So
okay, let's pull this thread a little bit, Alden. So you think Brady would be a good navigator? So like, okay, you need a 4 or 5 man crew. Okay, sure. So Brady's the man in the chair. He's the guy looking at the maps, kind of figuring out where we're going to go, where's the water sources, all that.
I think so. Ken is definitely in there, if for no other reason than I know he'll make a hard choice, and like we know that his security background is going to be like essential in one of these situations.
Okay.
Do I count as part of this as part of my own 5? Okay, so that's 3.
Yep.
Who else would I want to bring? See, it's like, what kind of group do you want, right? Because we've seen in fiction that some people run a really militant op, but like maybe I want like a bard. Like maybe I want someone in our crew that's just like brings a guitar for the campfire. It's like I gotta think about this. Eli says we know who I wouldn't choose. That's true because our friend Jared Bachman Stubbs from the Nerd Academy podcast. I told him repeatedly that I love him, but he is not welcome in the group. He's just not.
Jared the TIE Pilot has guitars on his like wall, and he's played guitar a few times on the Blathering stuff. We need a bard, and he's got a great beard, so I think he would fit the good bard bill there. But yeah, you need at this point, I think you need a good driver if you can get your hands on a car or hopefully or someone who can kind of get you a sticky switch, and then you need some muscle. You need someone to be like, I know Ken is like the security background, but we're gonna need. I think we're gonna need a little more backup than just Ken. I love Ken, but we're gonna need. I think we're gonna need a little more denser muscle, if you know what I mean.
That's an interesting like thing to think about that I don't think about a lot. Probably because most of my friends are nerds. But like, you ever think about that? See, like, who is the toughest person you know, genuinely?
Oh, okay.
Who's the baddest person in your life?
Right. Okay. Well, baddest, I don't. That's a good question. Like baddest, like the kid who like lit fires on shit in middle school, kind of thing. But
like bad motherfucker. Like a who do you think in your life? It could be someone we don't even know. Yeah, an uncle or something that you have.
Right. Right.
I'm genuinely trying to think, and I don't think I know any tough people. Like, not any genuinely tough people.
So he's not like super tough. He's more like a lab or a golden retriever where he's nice. He doesn't look tough, but if you really had to, he does have like an incredibly strong bite force kind of thing. My college roommate was a 6'4", built like a brick wall, like Adonis, but he was like the nicest person in the world. He was easy to bring to parties and everything because I never had to worry about getting shit from anybody because he was like this big, tall, good looking volleyball player. And he was the kind of guy where if someone was gonna like if he sniffed out someone was about to fight like at a party or something, he'd be like, okay, yeah, like let's throw down, and he would walk in and people wouldn't want to fuck with that because he was built like a brick shit house. So that's who I would call in that situation, but I wouldn't call him like a tough guy because he is a teddy bear. So but that's definitely the person I know of, like anyone I know, that's the last person I would want to fight myself, and that's who I would call if I thought I was gonna get my ass kicked.
That's good. That's a good pick. It sounds like he had like the loyalty is so key too.
Yeah, the loyalty is key, and he's like a bro. So we lived together for a few years. So yeah. So what do you, based on your team that you've assembled here for your zombie apocalypse, what do you like? What chances are you honestly giving yourself at survival? Like, and for kind of like how long? Like what do you think you're doing here?
I don't know, man. Maybe a month tops. Like,
okay.
And part of that is me me being honest about myself. Like
fair.
I would have a mental breakdown so quickly.
Yeah.
Because it's like you think about it. And like, how shit is, like, how life is. It's like most of us, we're like a couple bad days away from a breakdown as it stands in a perfectly already functioning society. I never want for food. I have shelter. I have a beautiful dog. I'm having a cup of coffee in my stupid little mug. Like, this is fantastic. We're medicated. Like, everything should be fine, and we still are falling apart all the time. Zero chance would I do well in an apocalypse scenario. I think we'd be begging for alliances and for the love of another human. For we'd be touch starved. So
you would be a good diplomat in a zombie apocalypse situation, Alden. I think you would be a great kind of representative of the community of like, we really need to get like bags of rice from like that encampment that's like a few miles away, and they don't really like talking to us so much. You're the dude I'm sending to be like, hey, we need rice and medicine and beer. Help us out.
I think I'm pretty good at cutting deals. I mean, like, I in general live my life by the ethos of Ferris Bueller. And like from a very young age, there's that point in the movie where he says, if I'm going to get busted, it is not going to be by a guy like that. And like, as a kid, I latched onto that because I was like, yeah, like, it's not that what he's doing is right, but it's like he has gathered the goodwill of everyone around him and is pretty nice to everyone they meet along the way, except the snobby restaurant maitre d' who deserved it. And so it's like, you have to be able to build these relations and charm. I mean, I got literally me and 3 other people out of I don't want to say confrontation, but out of a brush with the police 8 or 9 years ago.
Okay, and please do tell.
I will tell. So, used to work at Trader Joe's when I was in broadcasting school, because of course. And you worked at Trader Joe's too?
No, broadcasting school.
I
worked at Food Lion, which is just like a shittier version of Trader Joe's.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So the situation was this: we did our closing shift, which is 3 to 11, and to the surprise of absolutely no one, every single person that works at Trader Joe's, well, not every, but most people that work at Trader Joe's indulge in the devil's lettuce, and in whatever form. But we finished our 3 to 11 shift. We did what we always do. We got into one of our cars. We went over to the other end of the parking lot, which was right by the Men's Warehouse. That's not an important detail, but I just like Men's Warehouse. And we had our snacks that we had gotten with our delightful employee discount.
Okay.
And we smoked a bit and then just hung out. We did this all the time. No problems. We all lived right there. So it's like, for me, it was literally like 90 seconds in the car to get from the Trader Joe's to the gate of my community. And we are sitting there, and the actual sesh has been done at this point for like 40 minutes. Now it's just talking and listening to music. And then all of a sudden behind us, headlights. And I'm like,
oh no.
Okay.
Oh no.
I'm like, all right, interesting. And then the car just stays there, and they don't throw on the actual police lights.
Right.
They're just like sizing us. And I'm like, why isn't that car moving? It is a near empty parking lot. It's just us and them. So I'm like, I think it's cops. And then like they got out of the car, and I see that it's cops. So I'm like, all right. So it's me, another guy, and then 2 other friends behind us. And we poke our heads out. Guy comes over. He's like, hey, what you guys doing? Like, they're giving us the runaround, and it's like, we can skip all this, man. We can skip all this. I know what you're doing. And so in my head, I'm like a little bit panicked, but I'm like, I gotta get through this. I was like, because my mom knows this story now, but at the time, I was like, I cannot call her. Right. That'll ruin everything. That'll ruin my life. So they are like, we got a call about a car or whatever, which like bullshit. You got a call. You guys are just sweeping, or you guys are just like looking for something to do. And they are like, we smell some weed or whatever. So we didn't have any more. So I was like, this will be a situation of, we did smoke, but we're not possessing, and blah blah blah. I'm like playing it out in my head, but then they turned on the aggression, and another car pulls up. And so now we have like a squad car and a squad SUV and 4 total cops. Jesus. And I was like, this is excessive. This is a lot.
Yeah.
I later sussed out that one of them was like brand new. just based on the way that they were talking and everything, and them being young. There was one cop though who was a really, really, really pretty woman. Ooh. And who was very like had the most humanity, because male cops, no humanity. Like I've already get like they're more machine now than man. There's no point even barking up that tree. So it's a really, really cold night, and they went the full. They wanted to put on the full intimidation factor. So they're like, all right, we're gonna have you come out one by one, and they had us go out one by one, gave us all the pat down, cuffed us, had us sit on the curb. Like this was like a whole thing. And I'm skipping over some details just for the point of air, but like one of the friends ended up getting way more heat than anybody else, because he told us that we had smoked the last of it, and we all said that. And then it was in his panic that he was like, there's more under the car seat in a jar. I didn't tell them that. No. So he, like, to his credit, did not drag us down with him.
Right.
So he had a separate arc, and I didn't really talk to him again after this. But for our purposes, I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh man, if I could just tap into this woman's humanity somehow and just like try to have a conversation. And so I'm like, you know, it's really cold. And so I asked her, I said, can you grab my hoodie and at least like toss it to me, and like, or just like throw it on me or something? And she did. And then, so while she walked away, I looked at the other two people and I was like, ask her for stuff. And so they asked her for, like, you know, their Scully or like whatever. And then she ended up, yeah, exactly. She ended up grabbing the SUV and pulling it forward and like letting us sit inside of it and everything. So I was like, oh, we're good. I was like, maternal instinct has kicked in. I was like, we are fine. But I managed to talk everybody through the situation and talked us out. That was the Han moment. I was like, I need to be Han in this moment. Yep. To get through this. It was the only time I've had a run-in with the police, and hopefully it'll be the last one. And I ended up seeing that officer at a city event like 2 or 3 months later.
Well, the lady officer?
The lady officer, out of uniform, but I recognized her face. She recognized me, and she looked at me. She said, "Staying out of trouble?" And I was just like, "Dude, we're friends. We're friends. This is my best friend."
That is amazing. I have a quick police interaction story as well. I've only had one similar well, not similar, but I wasn't even actually doing anything like that illegal. I was shooting a video for like a 10th grade history class project with a few buddies. We were doing a project on workers union riots in the late 1800s. And so we had recently gone to a field trip to Jamestown, where we bought a shit ton of those wooden muskets, right? That you get at like the gift shop at the end of all the historical tours. And so we decided we would shoot this. We would shoot Kingsport Cal. My cop stories. I went to jail. Cal, you'll have to elaborate sometime. So anyway, we were shooting this video in this backyard about worker unions. So we were using these wooden muskets, and we thought, oh man, what a great idea would be to put firecrackers on the end of these muskets to simulate like the smoke going off, so we can have some really good special effects here for our 10th grade history video. Long story short, we did that, and we're in the middle of suburbia, in the middle of Richmond, Virginia. And this is not okay. Like things are okay, right? And it was a lightly wooded area. One of our neighbors, one of my friend's neighbors, called the police and said, "Hey, there are people shooting each other in the woods behind my house." And so we saw a few cop cars like go down the street with like their lights on, a few minutes like into shooting our stuff, and after the first firecrackers that went off. And we were like, haha, that'd be funny if they were coming for us, right?
Yeah.
5 minutes later, not even maybe 5 minutes later, we hear an officer kind of walking through the woods, like all the like the leaves and everything. And he says, "Everyone drop what you have. Everyone drop your hands, put your hands up." This dude's pointing his gun at us. Okay. We're in 10th grade. Legitimately had a cop pointing his gun at us, and he was 10, 15 feet away from us. And we had literally just lit one of these damn muskets with a firecracker, and we were so damn lucky that thing didn't go off and like didn't actually like catch, because we didn't actually finish lighting it. Because this dumb idiot probably would have like shot one of us.
Oh, right? For sure.
And so, and I just remember my one buddy who was a year older than us just laughing at this guy the whole time, right? Because they did the same thing. They took us out of the woods. We all sit on the curb. We had call of our parents. I'm thinking to myself, holy shit, my father's going to disown me. At the end of the day, you know, everyone just thought it was kind of funny. They confiscated the tape, which was the worst fucking part. They took the tape like that we were shooting with, so we never got to like do anything funny with it or use it for anything. I know, right?
Come on.
Because they were like, we're going to take this as evidence, and then we'll call you if you like get charged with anything, kind of thing. So that was pretty lame. But I just remember my friend making a comment to the cop as we were finishing everything, like, because there was like 4 or 5 cop cars, there were several police officers all standing around. We're like, man, you guys really you guys got us, right? Like, you guys are gonna have like a big story to tell, like when you get back about the shooting in the middle of suburbia, whatever. Damn, they didn't like that. So don't even though we had that privilege, don't talk back to cops because they weren't happy about that. But
no, they're not happy about much. I mean, I can't imagine having impunity to basically do whatever I want or nothing. And being so unhappy. If I had that free ride to just chill and yell at people and do nothing. Yeah, no, it'd be great. I'm looking at Jerry's here. Jerry.
I love it. So we're gonna get the call out link here. Do you want to start taking some calls here? You mentioned a minute ago your beautiful dog, and I'm doing the tacky thing here. I'm gonna share this really quick. See how this looks. This is my shady dog. So this is the pooch, and I just needed to, take it. You said, these are the things that we like appreciate in life, right? So,
of course.
So he's just hanging out with us. He's got BB-8 over there to his left. You can't actually see him, but he's got a little BB-8 thing over there. And so this is who we're hanging out with. So we'll get some calls out here.
I do not have a dog cam set up, but I can do this manual. So let's see here. Let's rotate. Mando. Hey, pal. Hey, bud. He's not pleased.
That's awesome.
But Adam Knight says, am I too old to listen to this show now? Certainly not.
No, we need, like we said, we need adults. We need babysitters.
You live forever. I gave the link out to some folks.
Excellent. Get in here.
The usuals. Anybody that wants to call in. We are going to.
I'll put it in the chat here too.
This. Yeah, we're going to start on Blathering on Anytime soon on Casually Talk. We're going to start. I would describe it as tightening the screws on the calls, not changing anything about what you can talk about or anything like that. But we're going to be kind of radio styling the call-in process, where once you are in, I see the first person is here. I see the second person is here. What I want you to do is put your, obviously we see your names, put where you're calling from. Sometimes I already know that, but sometimes I don't. And what you want to talk about. And so this helps with 2 things. 1, it's going to make everything a lot faster. 2, it's going to make everything a lot smoother. And 3, it's going to provide Steve and I the ability to be really cute with like radio segues. Example, if you're like, I really want to talk about dogs, well then perfect, we just did. I don't really need to do much. But if you are calling in, you're like, oh, let me sit down, let me get the link or whatever. This happens to everybody. Sometimes the people that you're calling into have already moved on. And so then it's like, okay, well, then we got to backtrack. So this is going to be a new little flow system.
Exactly. So if you want a quick example, hey, this is Steve from Virginia on a mobile. I just want to know, Alden, what is your favorite video game from the N64 era, and why is it Ocarina of Time? Thanks a lot. I'll hang up and listen.
It probably is. I also liked Donkey Kong 64 a lot, and I really liked. There was an Inspector Gadget game that I liked on there, and Killer Instinct Gold. Killer Instinct Gold on N64.
Killer Instinct Gold.
Hype.
Hype. I'm trying to reach back, dude. Hold on, let me Google this. We have technology. Killer Instinct Gold.
Killer Instinct Gold. Killer Instinct was sort of like the fighting game franchise that withered away. It didn't have the staying power of Mortal Kombat and all these other ones. I'm trying to see like what the last Killer Instinct was in 2013. It was a reboot, and I guess it did not hit.
I'm looking. Killer Instinct Gold. Here we go. This is it.
Yeah.
That looks pretty. Oh man, dude, my mom would not have let me have an N64 cartridge that looks like this. Are you kidding me? No chance in hell. She would have done a Hail Mary just like looking at this thing. Like, oh man.
No, it was for sure just like pure like 90s edgelord type characters.
Love that.
And I wish it would have stuck around because I think I felt different than Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter or Soul Cal or any of the ones that kept going for a long time. Look at Jared is commenting while he's here backstage. This is a next level nerd who just just needs to be heard. I know it says Nerd Academy podcast, but I'm not a fucking fool. I know he's the only one that actually types from that account.
Oh man, yeah, no. So please get in here, folks. Whoever wants to come hang out, I'll put the link in here again. You don't have to be a member of anyone's Patreon or Discord or anything like that. This is a big open tent. But please, I do want to say, and I'm going to put some stuff here in a minute. We've got a link for Ken stuff. I just want to say this before we do get to stuff. Pouring out for our boy Ken. Go support him on the Blathering channel. You follow anytime with Ken and Alden. Go hit up Ken on Patreon and get those numbers up. Sports Card ASMR. We're looking out for our boy. We wouldn't be here. We literally wouldn't be here doing this if it wasn't for Ken. This is an awesome, cool thing for me to be doing for the first time. I'm super excited to be here. So thank you again, Alden, for being here. But
of course,
just want to shout out Ken and say, hey, let's take care of our guy. We know he's going through some stuff. So, here's one for you, buddy. And support our guy. So let's keep having some fun. We're going to get some calls here in a minute. Yeah, we've got, more people coming in. This is awesome. Love to do it. So let us know when you come in. Yeah, have your thing. And if you want one of your things to be, oh shit, like I don't have a good topic, Alden. I don't know what to talk about. Just say you want to spin the wheel, and we'll spin the wheel and put you on the spot. We'll be on the spot. We'll go from there. Sound good?
You do have the right to spin the wheel. That is true.
You have the right to spin the wheel. You have the right.
So that's our new thing. The wheel I'm very excited about. I like a little bit of chaos. Back on the rock radio station I produced for a while, we used to do, the one thing that we used to do that I hated was that we did open phones Fridays, which in Florida is just begging for stupidity. That was just like, sometimes it would just be like, what do you think about the Dolphins this weekend? And that was like, that was normal. But open phones and during the Trumpian era on a rock station, it could get stupid. But we did also do like the topic graveyard, where things that were pitched in production meetings and were nixed for time or just killed because the host didn't like them got put on a document, and then we would cut up the document and put it all into a little bowl. And then the contract was that you had to do it no matter what. And I enjoy that type of stuff. I enjoy for someone that is as long-winded as I am, I do like to move.
No, that's well, I like to talk to Alden, and that's why we're here on YouTube talking into microphones, because we like being here. Usually Ken has a show on Saturday nights and he's not here, so we decided to fill in and keep the love going. And we've got people here hanging out. I'm just, again, thank you so much, whoever's here, for all of you guys watching. I had like a line, Alden, to start the show with that I totally forgot to use. And it was like all like Star Wars centered. It was we are the Blathering Backstage, and we hope someone in the galaxy is watching.
That's cute.
Get it? Timely references and everything. I know. I tried, but we're like 3 beers deep now, so I felt more comfortable and vulnerable to share that out of pocket.
You're drinking beer?
Yeah.
I brought coffee.
What?
I did not. I drink coffee at any time of the day. That's one of the weirder things.
Oh, me too. No, I'm gonna have
people are weirded out by it. But
no, I might have like a Red Bull or a coffee after this because I'm planning on being up late tonight. But I can't do. I'm gonna be totally honest. This is the backstage show, right? This is behind the music. I can't do this shit sober, Alden.
Well, you are also. I used to have a rule about that, especially when I was more like in AM radio or FM radio, but in the AM shift, and I would be like, I'm never ever going to be under the influence of anything. And then there was literally a bar in the studio we worked
Batman?
I was trying to be so militant about it. And I used to never, it wasn't until a couple of years ago that I was like, I'm good enough to be baked on a show. I was like, I trust myself enough. Kingsport Cal says that he's drinking every show. Yeah, but Kingsport Cal, it's easy to do that from the audience, Cal. We expect that from you. We expect that type of free, just like free flowing, just like Cal's got the juice. I expect Cal in my mind, because I don't know like the aesthetic of where Cal lives, but I just imagine Cal like always with like a tall glass, grilling food, apron on. Like that's how I see Cal. Just loving life.
I don't know why, Cal. I imagine sometimes Cal has like I imagine Cal has like a really nice big front porch, and you could like it's like it's in the evening. Like I just imagine Cal's like a front porch kind of guy who hangs out on his front porch. He's got like a couch, puts the laptop out there to watch the show, and just sits back.
Cal drinks PBRs. That
having
makes sense.
PBR. There you go.
That makes sense.
Steve literally drinks every show. See, you're right. You're right because as things have happened, and I did the picks, and I've been, Ken has been super gracious and has brought me on so much. I'm not fun or funny or open when I'm totally stone cold sober. I need to have like a little bit of a buzz on. Jerry says I can't do high though, just nonverbal, and think about how much Jesus is disappointed with me. I got to go like a little bit of both, like sometimes, you know what I mean? Just to kind of see, like, depending on the mood for me. But I as long as I got something going, I have to have like some kind of buzz going, or else I just can't. Yeah. It just doesn't roll for me. I'm kind of like that with like video games now, as sad as that is too. I find myself like kind of needing to either meet Benjamin Button or have a drink or two when I play like Rivals or something like that. I want to talk games with you at some point too. So those are two things on the docket for later: sports and games. Because I'm going to tie you down and play Marvel Rivals or Fortnite with you one of these days.
Yeah, that's a thing that I am, and I will on air apologize to you, Plume, everybody that has wanted to play a game with me. It's not that I don't. It's just that my gaming time is very like, I find it when I can, and then sometimes I did this to my own nephew the other day where he was like, "Oh, do you want to play?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm on." And he goes, "Oh," and I realized that I had appear offline, or sometimes I go into the cave and I forget then to like come back out of it. So it's like you hit me up and you were like, "Oh yeah, if you ever want to play Rivals," and I was like, "Yeah, man." And then I went out of town for a while, but but I think I still am appear offline from like the last time, and I will the second that like you said like, oh, like the I think you have requests off or whatever, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll change it." Immediately forget. So everybody wants to play with me in Fortnite. I don't know if it's play against me or with me. But
no, but
we're supposed to. How many people on a Fortnite team?
You can do 4 in a squad for like regular Fortnite, but you can do like private like lobbies and stuff. And honestly, that's one of the things that I'm looking to kind of do with this channel, for just because it's like extra random shit, right? Like one of these days we're gonna put together like a community game night stream, right? So we'll get whoever wants to play Fortnite with us. We'll hop in. We'll all do Fortnite. We'll stream it. Other games, Rocket League, Rivals, whatever it is, right? Like
one thing that I've wanted to do for the longest time, and this will probably be the right place for it, is I've wanted to do because I played the Mass Effect trilogy many times.
Ooh, okay.
Those are my favorite games, and I want to do a Mass Effect 1 to 3 playthrough where I outsource every decision to the chat.
Yeah, I love that. That's amazing.
Like, just be like, we are all Commander Shepard in this playthrough. What should we do, guys? Should we shoot this guy? That would also work for KOTOR and things like that.
Everyone who can bang, you're gonna bang, and everyone who you can kill or is gonna die.
Yeah, with these degenerates. Yeah, with these degenerates for sure. All right, so let's go to a call.
Let's do it.
Let's see. So I'm trying to see like what's again, and it's not anyone's fault, but we've just touched on so many things. I mentioned KOTOR just now, so that's good enough for me to bring in Jared. It says this is our buddy Jared Bachman Stubbs calling from Latrobe. He says Pittsburgh, but I know spiritually, emotionally, ethically, and ontologically he is in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, calling in to talk about Star Wars. Jared,
yes.
Why don't we talk about this enough?
We do talk about this enough, but I wanted to pin you down for a moment, especially with Steve here.
It's late. Easy. We're getting naughty at 10 o'clock. All right, go ahead.
And you guys have met, right? I didn't mean to like step all over.
Very
briefly.
A little bit, yeah.
Probably on Blathering. Yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah, through Blathering.
Sure.
So I put something on Blue Sky that Alden and I kind of went back and forth on a little bit. There's a lot of people, especially in the wake of the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith, singing the praises of one Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Heard of him.
As like the goated Jedi warrior. And I low-key think Obi-Wan might be a fraud.
All right.
At least the hype around Obi-Wan is
the brother of that dog you're looking at is named Obi. So watch your mouth.
I mean, hey, no, Obi-Wan's a great character, and he's a great Jedi, and he's wonderful, and he's one of the goats.
Sure.
But the amount of people who refuse to acknowledge the fact that man can't beat Count Dooku to save his life is infuriating me. So I just kind of wanted to put it out there. Obi-Wan Kenobi, kind of fraudulent and overhyped, or not?
But okay, all right. But look, what you're describing here, like, I'll put it in wrestling terms, and then I'll put it in the terms of a real sport, or Steve can think up a metaphor for that while I say the wrestling one. It's like there are a litany, there's like a plethora of wrestlers that are 5-star performers, but maybe they've never beaten like one of the goats. Like it's like, so it's like, how can you be like Dooku, not being able to beat Dooku makes you a fraud? Dooku's bar is so high. So I guess like the sports thing, and Steve, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like, you might be one of the greatest shooters in the current game, but like, are you Steph Curry? Maybe not, but that doesn't make you a fraud.
Right. Or the good analogy there would be like the dudes who never like were really good but didn't win a championship. Charles Barkley's in the Hall of Fame. He never won the title, right? Like Jordan kicked his ass. Jordan was Barkley's Count Dooku, right? He whooped his ass every time he played him. But guess what? Barkley was still like one of the best power forwards ever, round amount of rebound, and he's in the Hall of Fame because he's really good. So that's like a good, there's,
like
there's
Dooku is
like those dudes in football too.
Dooku is, and we all know this even casually, but Jared, of course, you would know like the hyper specifics on it, is not just the greatest of his form. That's pretty much undeniable.
Oh, yeah.
But he is a top 3 pound for pound duelist, at least in recorded canon. And
even
so
in
it's
Legends, even in Legends, and that zone is so flooded. And like Alden, you're going to be on KNR to talk about this here soon, but like legit, like Dooku, in my opinion, like straight swordsmanship, Dooku's the goat. Straight swords, no magic, removing that from the equation if you can. That is the best swordsman of all time. And my frustration is that everybody is praising Obi-Wan in a way that just pretends.
But you have told me
his number.
But you have told me repeatedly that Obi-Wan is the greatest defensive player of his generation, maybe ever. So it's like, what? Like, maybe being the greatest in defense isn't enough to put down the greatest in offense, but like Obi-Wan would still probably be a top 10 swordsman in Star Wars.
I go back to you have to go to the Grievous fight. Like, how do you, that's his magnum opus, right? When it comes to Obi-Wan, as far as his success, other than
Darth Vader
duel at the end, but no,
twice,
Grievous
and intentionally got him a third.
But he beat Darth Vader once. He beat
Grievous
Prime Vader once, and that comes with caveats. With caveats. No, you're good. I'm sorry. I just the win on Vader, and this is the other thing we got into, Alden, was the whole like the idea of a clean win in Star Wars. If your win comes as a byproduct of like any type of force amp and it is not you at baseline, it's a win with a big asterisk. Luke Skywalker did not cleanly beat Darth Vader.
Well, then Anakin has very few clean wins in his career, period.
Wait, hold on. Amateur question. Why is the Return of the Jedi win for Luke not clean? I feel like that was pretty...
Because he taps into the dark side. He gets that force amp and that never!
Okay.
And then he fully crashes out and starts wailing on it.
But that's different from like...
creating.
That's different from like an outside force impact.
Yeah,
no,
that's a different thing. But like, if we're talking about the buffs, though, that means that Obi-Wan has beaten Vader. And don't even start with me. He beat him twice because he beats him on Mustafar, and then he beats him on the unnamed moon.
That's not Prime Vader. That is
Mustafar is not Prime Vader.
Not by a long shot.
It's Prime Anakin.
Maybe Prime Anakin. You take Anakin on Mustafar and you pit him against Return of the Jedi Darth Vader. Darth Vader wins that 7 days a week, twice on Sunday.
Oh, all right. Don't be silly now. Okay,
no,
like
I'm not being silly. That's Vader and
Anakin.
Pinnacle.
Anakin / Vader. It makes you happy. Anakin / Vader. He has beaten twice, and both of those times,
highly circumstantial.
You had dark side buffs up the wazoo. And Obi-Wan was still able to do it. Now, could you be like, well, he was light-sided buffed in the series? Who cares? But like, your frustration is not, in my estimation, your frustration is not like people are saying Obi-Wan is so great. It's that people aren't saying he's great in the right way. And for that, I penalize you. I don't know what I have the authority to penalize you on, but like you came into this like that people you're acting like people are saying that fucking Eth Koth is like Anakin level. Like we're not saying stupid shit. Anakin is like Obi-Wan is up there with some of the legends. He's a better duelist than his own master.
Oh, 100%.
Who Dooku trained. So it's like he's already closer to his grandpa than his dad in the lineage. And can hang with Anakin. He can hang with Vader. He beat Grievous's ass. He killed the first Sith in 1,000 years. I mean, we'll never know who
quite a few tries.
We'll never know who put down Chimere. And hopefully one day we will know, because I need that fucker to get put down. But it's like I feel like you came into this, you're frustrated. Revenge of the Sith frustrates you in general.
Yes.
When people discuss it. And so you're coming in here with the smoke for Obi-Wan, but really you're being silly. And you know that.
I want justice for Count Dooku.
We know he's great.
He
beat Obi-Wan, he beat Anakin, and he held his own against his own master. We saw that in Clones. That was his debut. We already put respect on him.
Not enough.
Seasons of Clone Wars, and he was beating ass left, right, and sideways. Every time he shows up in an expanded thing, he does something cool. He has the best Tales episode where he has an awesome duel with Yaddle and he kills her.
I'm just saying, if we're going to adequately talk about Obi-Wan, and he deserves like 97.5% of the flowers he's getting, but that 2.5% is sheer glazing and Count Dooku supremacy erasure.
And that's, I think, to be fair, I think what I'll add to that is I think that's your good guy, bad guy bias. I think your good guys have have the equivalent of home court advantage in these things. You know what I mean? If you're playing at home in the NFL, you get 3 points according to Vegas, no matter what. That's Obi-Wan's 3-point percent. His 3% glazing is because he's the good guy. There you go, baby. He's the good guy.
I also think
Skywalker's master. He's course he's going to get a little extra juice.
I also think Obi-Wan gets like maybe +2, like I don't know if it would be dexterity or whatever. He gets a +2 in something based on how much shit he talked at you beforehand. If he got one of his clever little swashbuckly jokes in, like what is the one in Clone Wars where it's like, easy Anakin, the count is contemplating, or the count is something.
Yeah.
Like he throws out one of those jabs.
Oh,
like,
let
Peepaw put on his swag.
Lest we forget the Darth Maul, I like your new legs, they make you taller, is like one of the first things he says to this man.
No, Obi-Wan demoralizes you with a vicious mockery before he gets in and starts doing his thing. Ken Plume says justice for Count Dooku should be a disqualifier. Now, Ken Plume, would this mean that you are anti Christopher Lloyd in Plaza 15 as a security director of Plaza 15, where he says that Count Dooku was a visionary? Did that rub you the wrong way? Just curious.
Maybe I'm a lobotomy patient who likes Jedi Cocoa Melon too much. Every time I see that scene, I do a backflip. I want to do a backflip. Dr. Emmett Brown said the words Count Dooku, and that was enough for me.
We got Ranger Donald here, says Broom Kid, aka Tamiri Black, takes out everyone. Broom Kid sweep. I mean, we might have to put him against somebody, of his same, maybe like Broom Kid v Grogu in like a force off, because we know that they're both have telekinesis or something. Like I'll be watching Broom Kid's career with great interest. But anyway, Jared, any final thoughts before we move on to our next caller? Anything else you want to say? Any ridiculous claims you want to make about Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Not about Obi-Wan. I will say, just because I have a reputation to maintain and I didn't defend Vader enough, Vader is the pound for pound GOAT, period. Sure. And stands at the top of the mountain, just fully unbothered as the GOAT.
And yet he got beat by a little hayseed who didn't complete his training and got mad.
He wasn't fighting to kill. Darth Vader never fought Luke Skywalker with the intention to kill, and that is one of the big things. Is again, it's not a clean win. It is not a clean win.
I'm just being a stinker. I know that because I've said the same about Kylo and Rey in the Force. He's not trying to kill her, and he's dying while he's fighting her. He will bleed out if it doesn't end soon. So yeah, as Eli says, Jared defends Vader is Saturday. It is a day that ends in Y. When Jared has to remind everybody that he loves Darth Vader. Jared, thank you so much. Everybody check out Nerd Academy podcast.
Thank you all.
Check out Pro and Noob. Check out check out Roosevelt Insiders if they'll let you in. Other than that,
and Ionized Bastards.
And Ionized Bastards is going to be coming back soon, our Star Wars RPG series. So check that out on all remaining systems. And and Jerry throwing in a wrench right at the end. We're not going to do this, Jerry. We're not going to talk about the difference between Prime Vader and Prime Anakin right now. Jared could do an episode. I could do 3 hours on that later this week for you. How about that?
I could do about 8 minutes in a voice message in our group chat right now.
Wow, Jared, Ranger Donald says Vader couldn't beat. Ranger Donald says Vader couldn't beat Palpatine. Ooh, in swords? That's interesting. I don't know. Palpatine would mop him in a force battle, but yeah, that's difficult. Anyway, all right, Jared.
Later, guys.
Thanks, Jared.
Bye. All right. So
there we go. Oh, thanks for clicking that. All right.
Palp
for the win, says Jared.
Papa Palps. I don't know what this person has in store for us, but I see that there's a Game of Thrones tease in our notes, in our little production notes here. Are we going to end up in another versus conversation? I don't know. From Southeast Mass, it's Jared, the TIE pilot. Jared, Jared, you said Game of Thrones. You are one of our favorite Game of Thrones thinkers. I am interested to see what you have for us here. Steve, though, real quick, what is your Game of Thrones background, if at all, if you care? I'm not sure what your status is.
No, huge fan. Cool. I'm not gonna lie and say I read the books before the show because I didn't, but I did go back and read. We've had this discussion before. I did audiobook for most of them, so I don't know if I've actually read the books, but I consumed the words of most of the books, and so very familiar with Game of Thrones. We'll have to talk Thrones sometimes. I would love to producer Steve
for sure
some casually talk sometime. So I've got lots of Thrones thoughts, but I love hearing Jared's. Jared always has like the best. Jared is the sports talk radio Stephen A. Smith of Game of Thrones questions.
It's true, and Jared is also responsible for giving Ken and I the idea for how Casually is coming back, which will be very soon. We said after Japan. I know it's already been a few weeks, but obviously shit is chaotic right now for Ken for real reasons, me for other real reasons. But the new Casually format, I'll just say, since it's not a secret, is that there's going to be a monthly show just like this. That'll be long, full of questions, sort of sitting back in at the small council table, or maybe honestly more like in a tavern. I could see some beer and brews and some foolery happening, and then we will out of that pull videos and everything to post to the channel and everything, and then that will continue on. And then of course later this year we have a Throne show on deck, so we'll do our classic style for Night of the Seven Kingdoms. So that'll be coming up as well. But Jared, what do you got for me, man? I'm excited.
Well, and Jared, don't be offended. I'm going to go grab a beer really, really quick. So go hang out with my dog for just a second, and then you guys fill me in when I get back. But man, he's adorable. All right, I'll be right back.
Dogs are always superior. It's just how that goes. But as Ken says, I got to bully you guys back into Casually Talk.
It's true
because, I am the one who constantly is rewatching all the old episodes because I have no one to talk to about any of those 3 shows. Willow especially.
I feel you, man. We're a proud few.
We are.
But yeah, man, what was your Game of Thrones thought? Is this a question? Are you going to start a fight?
Let's start a fight.
Okay.
Let's see. Who do you think is the actual worst father in Westeros? Examples being Stannis, Roose Bolton, the Greyjoys, our boys. Who's the biggest? Who's putting the most money into therapy?
Look, there's a lot.
There's a time.
There's so many bad fathers in Westeros. I would like to say there are some that will come to mind for a lot of people that I think aren't even like the bar of bad is really low, guys. Like there's like it gets really, really bad. Like so I want to get I don't even want to call it a joke answer because it is real, but he's so bad that I have to put it on the shelf. You know what I mean? And that's Craster. Like we have to put like
that almost doesn't count. But okay,
exactly, like it's so heinous. For those of you that don't recall or have not seen, Craster is a guy that lives up at the appropriately named Craster's Keep beyond the wall, who all of his young wives are also his daughters. And it's just a monstrous character, an inbred family, and they're all victims. You know, feel bad for all of them. One of them becomes a long-standing character named Gilly, and he is a heinous individual, so bad that you really do need to separate him from the group. But if we're talking about families that we know and the dads, the first one that came to my mind was Aerys Targaryen, the Mad King. I feel like he's just horrible, and it's not that all of his children turned out that way, because Rhaegar pretty great, Dany mostly pretty great. It was just the one fucking loser, with Viserys, with Viserys the Third. So he sucks, but like he's also just his bad is so bad that it extends beyond his home and to the entire land. He's such a piece of shit that he is the inciting individual for the landscape where we find the story. So he would be my first nomination, I think.
Okay,
sorry, ahead, Steve.
Yeah, I've got one. And
Randall,
Ken makes a good point. I have to go just from like dadness, because like Alden makes a good point. Like Aerys is just like such a shitty person, so that's it. That makes an easy place to say like also shitty dad, right? And he's also did plenty of things as a shitty dad. But I'm just going just dadness, and also being #girl dad. Stannis Baratheon. As a father of a daughter, watching that again hits like 1,200 times multiplier. You know what I mean? Like critical damage, like every time. It's just, it's Stannis. Fuck that guy. Sorry.
That's a great choice. He's and Ken probably felt you say that from wherever he is down in your basement. As he's in cryo sleep. Stannis,
I'm gonna check this thing to see if he's completed any of the puzzles. I doubt it though. They're pretty hard. Yeah, go ahead.
You just psychological damaged him with that Stannis. I can't even call it slander, because Stannis is a tragedy. He's bad.
He is.
Yeah, he's a great pick. Jared, who comes to mind for you when you thought of the question?
Yeah,
who were you thinking of when you asked it?
It's one of those, like, you want to have the immediate reaction for Stannis, but when you, other than that one moment, and don't get me wrong, it's kind of a big moment, it's up there.
Yeah.
You kind of, other than that, other than being a little absentee, he actually has good love for Shireen.
Yeah.
I was talking about it on the last episode of Blathering with Ken. It's like he has those moments where he talks about how he has all the healers cure his grayscale. So it's like, he's not the terrible, but the one that I actually kind of came to.
What have you done for me lately, Jared?
No,
sorry. Sure. Continue.
You're not wrong. It's kind of a thing he did, but I go with Tywin.
Okay. He's bad.
I like this.
Yeah, the ego of just putting the family so first that you lose your family in the same token. Like, even as Cersei tries to like give him some kind of respect at the end and like serve the family, he could have cared effing less. You're gonna marry this guy because you're still fertile.
No, he's extremely callous with all of his children. He has a unique strategy of abuse for all of them, right? Like with Cersei,
he does.
Right.
Cersei, he gave her all the tools to be cunning and ruthless and strong in her way. But because of that, he always has to bring her back down with sexism, with her role as a woman, with her expectations. It's like he wants his daughter to be the most beautiful and the smartest. but whenever she gets a little bit too big, in his opinion, he tears her apart, right? He brings her back down. With Jaime, he fathered this legendary warrior who is just like, you know, had he not lost his hand, would still be throughout the story the greatest of all time, and even with one hand is still, you know, top tier. This guy who's done these legendary feats, but he always has to remind him that he's disappointed in him, that he's an idiot, that his place on the King's Guard is just a glorified ass wiper. Like he has no respect for him. And then of course Tyrion is sort of the juice of the whole argument, right? Like Tyrion, the thing that always fascinates me about it is that Tyrion has almost the same skill set as his father, as a diplomat, as a schemer, statecraft, everything. Like they're both these high level thinkers. But the tragedy is that you can say, damn, you know, if Tyrion, you know, didn't have dwarfism and was of a regular stature, then it wouldn't be this way. And they would probably be these insane allies. But it's a chicken and egg thing, because if Tyrion didn't have his personal struggle of size, would he be that thinker? Probably not. You know?
No. He brings it up himself.
Point. Yeah, I think that's an awesome point. Oh, no, go ahead, Jared. Sorry.
No, I was going to say that. I was going to emphasize that point. It's like Tyrion says that himself in the early seasons, where because of his stature, he hit the books. Mm-hmm. He had to use his brain. So,
he'd probably just be, you know, Jaime's sidekick if he was of regular height. He would just be another warrior. Maybe he'd be the son that looked after Casterly Rock, which he asks for, you know, around the wedding season in the show, and asks for that. But Plume has a great question here from the chat. Let's flip it before we let you go, Jared. Jared, I want you to be positive before you go. Are you ready to be positive?
Let's do it.
I want you to choose, who would you want to be your Game of Thrones dad? Who is the guy?
If I'm just a
hold on, can I make a rule for this really quick, Alden?
Yeah, go for it.
You can't pick Ned. Let's have fun. You can't pick Ned.
Sure. A little easy. It's a little easy.
Yeah. Go ahead. Continue.
Okay. No. I got, if we're just going probably who will be the best dad, Maester Sam.
That's true.
To Little Sam.
Little Sam
be a great dad.
Yeah.
But
that's a good pick.
But as an actual dad, depending on which kid you are, though, Viserys, Vizzy T.
Vizzy T.
Yeah.
Can I be? If I'm Rhaenyra in this situation, then I would love to be Rhaenyra in this situation.
That's a good pull.
Yeah, Steve, do you have a thought? Because I think there are two that I'm deciding between it. If you have one, go for it.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I'm trying to pick between two at the moment, because I was gonna say, I mean, being like, your dad doesn't really count because he dies soon, but like, you know, being one of those strong boys didn't work. You know, seems okay because your mommy is a real lion who, like, not lion, dragon who will protect you and everything. But I'm thinking, man, this is a tough one because we took Ned out of the equation, and this is why we did it, because we wanted to make it hard.
Well, here's the first one that I thought of.
You have one?
The first one I thought of was Jeor Mormont.
Where
that he's a tough guy, you know.
I was thinking of actual dads. I'm sorry. Okay, you're just picking anyone.
Well, no, Jeor with Jorah. I'm talking about.
Right. Okay, my bad. I thought you meant Jorah. Okay, yeah. Please.
No, I get you.
Sorry, go ahead.
But we never see them together. So it's like, I can't say what his actual parenting style was. And but Jorah went off the path and did shitty things before we met him. That's not on his father. His father was a man of honor who, you know, nobly served the Night's Watch until his death. And you get the idea that he's a great guy, respected throughout the realm. And that was part of Jorah's struggle, is that he was like, shit, I had a great family, great dad, and I didn't live up. So that was my first thing, because we see how he handles the Night's Watch, and particularly John. That's a great call from Ranger Donald with Davos. Yeah, but my actual pick is Oberyn Martell.
Ooh, good one. All right,
because you know, you see everything that
big brain thinking.
Everything we get about the Dornish philosophy of like bastards are celebrated in Dorne and they're treated with equality because they're love children and everything. All of that hits, of course. But then, you know, his daughters are fiercely loyal and have like That's a really strong family tie there that is because of the kind of household he runs. This is a great guy that is family first to the death. He's family first. He's cultured, likes to enjoy a party, likes art, likes to have a drink. Like, be a great dad.
Us polyamorous people know how to do it.
Yeah, dude, he gets it.
I think I would settle on Howland Reed just because he's like he's a real one. His kids seem to have turned out okay, and that's a dude that you can count on. Seems like, if he can keep a secret, he seems like a good guy. And again, his kids turned out okay, so I think that's the one. That's the one I would probably go with at the end of the day. If we can't, because I would pick Ned, obviously, if we could have that choice. But taking him out of the equation, Obern's a good one though. Oh, that's a great one. And you also, dude, think of how great your family reunions would be, with how many brothers and sisters you have that you would just like never see all the time, because Oberon is just like pumping out babies, God knows however. You know what I mean?
There's also like
so fun.
There's a funny answer where it's like, is he a great dad? Probably not. But would your life be easy? Would you get away with everything? That would be Mace Tyrell. Where it's like Mace is just like kind of a bumbling oaf, but it's High Garden, so you're going to be fine. It's like Mace Tyrell's the kind of guy where you could be like, Dad, can I get like 1,000 more gold? Me and the boys are going out. He'd be like, oh, I guess.
Yeah, like, but that's the thing. Mace wouldn't have the authority of the purse.
That's true.
Grandma's keeping that on lockdown. You got to convince Grandma. Dad.
Right.
Well, let's the reverse of that then. Which mom would you want from Game of Thrones, and why is the answer Rhaenyra?
The answer is
someone made the joke earlier about calling Danny mommy, but maybe not be my. So that would be my pick. Hey, boys,
it's easier
backstage. This is after dark. These are the jokes we can make.
In Game of Thrones in general, it's easier
you're not
to
wrong.
Cross off the people you don't want. Number 1, Liza Aaron, crossed off. Nope.
Yep.
Number two, pretty much anyone with the last name Baratheon. I don't want any of the Baratheons to be my mom. I think Rhaenyra for sure should be a great pick for this, although it's hard for me to choose her because I would just want Rhaenyra to be my wife in truth. But I also think, like, we can't sleep on Kat, right? Like we put Ned on the shelf, but like Kat, as long as you were hers.
Yeah, I was gonna say, dude, like
Christ, like in Severance, that's well, you're thinking of Brienne of Tarth, and Gwendolyn Christie. Brienne of Tarth. I mean, like, is not a mom, but would be a great one. I think, be her squire.
I call her mommy.
Yeah,
Podrick probably calls her mommy.
Yeah,
probably. It probably has to. But anyway, Jared, any last thoughts before we let you go and go to our next person?
No. When I was saying in the private chat, I was like, we could do Game of Thrones or X Games. My little X Games thing was going to be like, why are 10-year-olds making tricks that I couldn't make a video game do? This is wrong. I don't like it. I was up late watching Tony Hawk make that first 900, thinking this is never going to get topped. Now I'm watching 10-year-olds do 5 of them in a row. I don't like it. It makes me feel old.
I'm with you on this. I too remember when Tony Hawk did the 900. That was a big moment. People talked about that at school forever. Kids are, I don't know, man. It's like the athlete pipeline where like dudes, made their kids like a quarterback and had a strength coach at like 8 years old. There's some kids who are like really into skateboarding and at like 6-7 years old and just start doing this shit like for years and years by the time they're 10, 11 years old. And those tiny little 90-pound bodies can like whip it around, their bodies around a million times. So what do you expect? I don't know. Really 900 is like a kickflip now, Ranger Donald. I know, right? Like that's insane to me. Like back then, like it was a myth. It was like people were like, did he actually, like, if you didn't see the video because it was before the internet, basically, like, oh man, did he really do it? Not really before the internet, but you know what I mean? Like still, like it was crazy.
I don't know enough about this to accurately comment, but I will just say in general, the speed at which kids get better at everything is freaky. Like I saw a thing that was like, it was like a post and it was like, 2-year-old, doesn't know how to tie its fucking shoes. And it was like that same 2-year-old with a tablet and it was Tony Stark. Like, it's true.
Yep.
Whether it's like the fucking tablets at like Chili's or if it's like an actual like expensive device in your home.
right?
Maybe it's the colors. Like, maybe I don't know what it is, but they get it.
It makes me think of watching. I'm a big Trek guy too, obviously.
Yeah,
watching the Trek episodes. Those junior high kids know like warp field mechanics and quantum flux. Like, dude, Wesley Crusher's like 14.
That's crazy. It's crazy, and now he's a god. Well, Jared. Appreciate you, man. We'll talk to you soon, and we'll let you know when that first Cashly stream is going to be. It's probably going to be in the next couple of weeks, so it's going to be very soon. So I love you,
guys. You all stay safe.
Thanks, Jared.
Bye, man. Man, look at everything we've covered in this amount of time. We're still rolling. We're
just rolling, dude. I mean, I'm not in any rush. Like, we're not in any. We're not necessarily going anywhere anytime soon. We're gonna keep vibing as long as people are calling in. I'm gonna post the link here again in case anyone. Wait, that's the YouTube link. We'll get the link in here in just a second. But yeah, please, folks, if you are in the chat, free to call in. If you're hanging out with us, thank you so much for spending your Saturday. This is Blathering Backstage. We're just chilling. This is like we said before on Blue Sky. There's no structure. This is a second screen entertainment place to hang out. Maybe you're playing a game. Maybe you're doing, for whatever fucking reason, you're working on a Saturday.
Gross.
Throw us up on the other side and just hang out, And thank you to everyone who's been hanging out, putting stuff in the chat. You guys are amazing. Cal, Brady, Ranger Donald, Svetnik, everyone who's been hanging, Jerry the Cannon Junkie.
Jerry, Tully.
This is amazing that you guys are hanging out here. This is our first ever live stream on the Blathering Backstage. Blathering Backstage. Jesus Christ. I'm 4 beers deep, not that far. The Blathering Backstage, Alden. Blathering.
It could be the Backstage. It's all good. It's all good. Jared just booted up Baldur's Gate. Yeah, I'm going to be doing doing a new playthrough soon. Jared, we might have to do a new co-op with the new patch 8 and everything. So
I'm telling you, Ken has gotten away from gaming on stream, and I totally get it. It's his happy place. That's where he sees Virginia Bennett and a person on a tricycle with as Virginia Bennett's walking towards him with a pitcher of beer. That's fine. Ken, you have that. You know what I mean? Yeah. I am going to do some games on here. I'm going to do some gaming on Blathering Backstage, just hanging out. I have a little cohort of boys that we do some online games with. We do some Rocket League tournaments. We play a lot of the, kind of like the meta multiplayer games that are popular. Yeah. I'm a basic bitch like that. Alden. I'm sucked into that, but I'm a big PC gamer. So I'm into a lot of that stuff. And so if you guys are into that, if you're into gaming, if you want to, let me know what kind of games you want to see on here or be interested in playing. I'd love to do community game nights around here. Let's do Rocket League. Let's do Fortnite. Let's do whatever the fuck we're playing. Where we can do stuff. It's awesome. Ken Flim, get the hell out of here. Blathering Backstage. Yeah. Yeah. What are you gonna do? I went to journalism school. You wouldn't know. I literally went and professionally trained in broadcasting, but you'd have no idea.
So are Ken and I, but doesn't matter anymore, right? That's fucking irrelevant. Jared says he's playing a Hexblade Rogue multi-class. It's amazing that you have a girlfriend. It really is.
Yeah, dude. I wake up every morning and think to myself, I'm so glad that my wife is
married, whole family.
Yeah, I'm married. I have been married. Oh, Jesus Christ, Alden, you asshole.
Oh no.
2017. So 5 + 3, 8 years this year. 8 years this year.
It's so sad that when you said 2017, I was like, that's the year of Last Jedi, so it's 8 years.
Yes, dude. No.
I marked things based on film and for
me, 2015 is The Force Awakens. 2017 is the year I got married. 2019 is Celebration and Rise of Skywalker, and then 2020 to now is basically a blur. Well, no, 2023 when my
because we're still in 2020. Oh, it's
2024.
Your daughter's little.
She's gonna be 2 this year.
Wow, that's fun.
And actually, here, Alden, while we're here, this is a public forum here. I've told Ken and some folks on Fortnite that we've been playing with, but yeah, I do have a 2-year-old. But producer Steve will also have a little mini producer Steve coming this September. I have a baby boy. Me and my wife have a baby boy in September. Thank you so much. So we'll be adding to the family 2 kids, 2 dogs.
That's fantastic. So is your daughter of age where she understands? Like, does she understand that there's going to be another baby, or is she still too little?
Not really. No, she's still she's very, very little. My daughter's very, very little. And so we're getting there, but we're hoping by the time the baby's born, she'll kind of be aware of it a little bit.
Have fun. Yeah.
She cuddles her little baby doll, and she knows how to. She takes her big giant pink block thing,
Yeah.
and tries to feed her baby doll. So
that's awesome, dude. That is
we're getting-
amazing news. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much.
happy
I
for you
appreciate that.
guys.
Yeah,
I know you joked Little Steve, but
Little
like
Steve. Yeah.
no matter what you name the son, I am gonna call it Little Steve.
Yeah, well, it's on the board. It's on the board. We haven't decided anything, but names are a
So-
big deal when you're doing all that kind of shit, and people,
You don't need to give
Please.
like inside notes that your wife will be upset at you giving.
No. She doesn't watch this shit. It's fine.
What was the naming process? As a two-pronged question. One, was it a difficult naming process for your daughter?
Yes.
And then what is your collaboration like?
Yes. Great questions. Great questions.
Are you bringing lists to each other?
Yes. So it's in this day and age. So me and my wife met way before dating apps or anything like that. So I never was on Tinder or anything like that. Me and my wife have been together for 15 years now. But we found this baby name app that's essentially baby name Tinder. So you just go on it and like we link to each other's accounts. And so it's like me and her are like connected, and then it just serves each of us names, right? So it's like Ryan, Alden, Steve, and then you swipe left if you like it, or right if you don't, or whatever.
Wow.
I don't actually know. And then if we both swipe the same way on the same name, it's like, oh, you have a match. You both liked, whatever name together. So that's how we kind of like started, just to like throw pasta on the wall kind of thing. And then narrowed it down from there. And then we kind of like, every time we went out to dinner, we were like, so, what do you think about the list? We had like we eventually narrowed it down to like a top 5. And it was like, they would kind of move. It was like college football. They would kind of move up and down the rankings every week of like, okay, is this name was 5 this week. Now this week it's 3, like shit like that. And then about a month out, we had settled on one. So
damn, that rules.
Yeah.
The MySpace top 8 of it. Yeah, we need to
it is. It really, I mean, you're not wrong.
Like real quick about that. It's like, we don't appreciate, because social media is such a fucking cesspool now. We don't appreciate that even back in the quote unquote golden era of social media, when it was more chill, top 8 was still psychotic. Top 8 was a psychotic thing to encourage us to do. Like, I know that, like, what was it, Singular, or like one of the, was it T-Mobile that had like Fave 5? Like Fave 5 was, that was for you.
No, Singular. Yep.
Yeah, that was for you though.
It wasn't public. Yeah,
it wasn't public. It was just for you to have ease of access.
Dude, I was
top 8. Could you imagine social media is now having top 8s?
Right. Well, so you were a little, MySpace wasn't quite your time, right? I don't want to like age. I don't want to like do that to you, but like, were you on MySpace?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at the tail end of it. Yeah,
at the very tail end of it. Right.
Steve, I'll have you know that I had a Heath Ledger Joker profile theme.
Attaboy.
For my MySpace page, because
cool. MySpace was how I learned like HTML, right? So that's how I like.
Yeah, it was useful.
Yeah, exactly. MySpace was how I learned HTML, and Pokemon was how I learned that water conducts electricity. So don't tell me that game shit like doesn't teach you shit as a kid. But anyway, no, that top 8 stuff, that broke and built relationships and friendships in school. Like you. If you didn't have your top 8 configured correctly, like people would talk and think about you at certain ways at school. Like it was a very carefully crafted thing. It was very similar to like, and on our AOL Instant Messenger, your away message profile said a lot about you and who and what you were doing and kind of what circles you ran in. And yes, Ranger Donald makes a great point. Your MySpace page with the music you were playing, exactly. Like,
for sure. And when you could embed a playlist instead of one song.
Yes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh man, I was so edgy thinking I had like, I thought I was so cool because I had like Led Zeppelin and everything like playing on my MySpace page. Oh yeah. It was awesome.
You went onto mine and it was just like the different subgenres of rock that I like. Little MCR.
Oh yeah.
Little AC/DC, a little Ozzy, a little Plan. Like, no, it was fantastic. Kingsport Cal with the 9 Inch Nails. Kingsport Cal with 9 Inch Nails on his MySpace page is probably, that's Aura.
That is. That is. Oh, that's my head. Oh man.
Now I love this. I love this MySpace. I take the hardest. Jerry, if you could find that, please God, send it to me. If you could find it. I know all of our MySpace profiles were nuked a few years ago. Like they are more than a few. Because now it's a music website, right? Primarily.
Right. Yeah. Well, Justin Timberlake bought it, I think, right? Or someone in his collective or whatever.
I wish I could go back and salvage some of those. But T-shirt with a flaming guitar.
No, I'm kind of glad it's all gone. They say like nothing on the internet lasts forever. I'm kind of glad that some of it does actually go away. So
there are probably things that I said that are not like offensive or actionable or anything like that, but just like takes that I don't stand by. So it's like
there is Alden. I was I graduating high school 2009. Through that time, that was pre a lot of progressive culture stuff that were going on, and I'm glad that part of the internet is dead in my eyes. So no one's ever gonna find that shit again. So and I'm happy for that.
Gotcha. Real quick,
just please.
Got a few people backstage. I want to know, because Ken has a certain setup to have people call without pulling them on camera.
Yes, dude. I was going to ask you the same question. We're going to figure this out together.
So I know Cal, Brady. There are people that are not going to be camera ready.
So let's ask someone who is camera ready if we can experiment with them. How's that sound?
Yeah.
So that way, if you show up on camera, it's not the end of the world, right?
Sure. So we'll do that real quick. Let's just go to. Let's bring in Brady, because Brady's going to be our first wheel spin. And if Brady shows up with the gray circle, it doesn't really matter. But Cal, turn your camera off if you can, just in case someone messes up. And then
I think I turned off the setting where it's like if you're audio only, there's no avatar. So if they don't have a camera on, it should just be their microphone.
Okay, let's try it with Brady then.
I did a little tiny bit of pre-production other than totally fucking up the link.
You're good. Brady, you're coming in now. Brady. There we go. Okay, yeah. All right.
Hello.
Nailed it.
Cool. So Brady came in. There you go. Steve nailed it. So Brady is audio only right now. So that's the key. If you don't want to be seen, kill your visual, and that should be fine. It'll automatically take care of it. Yep. Now, Brady. Hello. From the great city of Los Angeles. Brady, you and I were together less than a week ago.
Yeah.
Which is
I would love to hear some Brady and Alden stories if you guys have a good one.
Our story is that we have great taste and that we both showed up to the right. Literally, so I didn't know what Brady looked like, but Ken did. So this was the interaction. I'm sitting next to Ken. We're in our seats, and Brady points us out, and it's not that I didn't I reacted, but because I don't know who this is, I'm like, oh, this is a Ken fan. And it wasn't until he said Brady that I was like, oh shit, this is someone I know. So that was great. But we had a great time with Rise of Skywalker.
Oh yeah.
It was a blast. Sounded beautiful, looked beautiful. Great crowd. But Brady, you're about to do something that no one's ever done, because it's the first time it's ever been attempted.
Yeah.
And do you have what it takes within the fiber of your being? Do you have the midichlorian count required to spin this wheel?
I'm more like Sabine, but we'll see. All
right, I respect that.
Yeah, let's spin the wheel.
I will always be pro Sabine. I got my Sabine tattoo here. Not going to take off my sweater to show it, but people can look at my Instagram. That's my girl. So you're in good company. All right, here we go.
Banner off. Hold on, let me take the banner off. Boom. All right, let's spin the wheel. Brady, you ready? Let's spin the wheel, dude.
Yeah. What should we do about show and tell though? Because I don't have a camera.
No, just use your beautiful words, Brady. You know how to paint a picture with your words.
We could always do that,
I can pull something up on the screen too. Don't worry about it. We're gonna Brady, we're playing notes here, baby. We're gonna roll with it. All right, ready?
All right, let's go. Oh,
sell me something.
Oh no,
Brady, sell me something.
Oh God! Oh,
tell me something.
Okay. I'm on the spot. Sell you something.
This could be a concept, Brady. This could be a thing that you've been trying to convince people. Is there something in your life that you've been trying to convince people is good or better than something else? That they don't listen to you, or that type of thing.
Okay. Yes, I got something. Okay. So, I'm gonna do like a little pre-story.
Sure.
So, as Alden said, like I came in to see Rise of Skywalker at the Academy Museum, and the reason why it was kind of a last minute decision for me. I was like, oh, do I want to go? But like, yes, it's Rise of Skywalker, 7 p.m. Let's go. And you know what made that easy? Public transportation, even in America.
I love this. Go, preach. Preach.
In the car-brained Los Angeles. The place where, you know, we could have just we had a transit system.
Mm-hmm.
The longest one, they would say. In fact, they made a movie about it, but you know, we bulldozed our neighborhoods for wider and wider freeways. But even still, I was able to make that last minute decision and just go in convenient time of 20 minutes, which may sound like a crazy amount of time in Los Angeles, but as someone who doesn't have a car, you know, you don't have to find parking. You know, Alden, how much was parking at LACMA?
A couple bucks, I think, something like that. Not a lot.
Okay. Well, you see, in LA parking, sometimes you have to spend like $10, $15. There's some touristy spots in Los Angeles. You have to spend like $5 an hour, maybe. I saw. Oh wait, no! At the new Clippers stadium, you have $70 parking.
Wait, the Clippers playing a different stadium than the Lakers?
Oh yeah, they built a new stadium. Yeah.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah, but you see, it because they put it next to SoFi Stadium.
Horrible sports fan.
Okay, go ahead. Not the Clippers, you know. No one talks about the Clippers, but yeah, they put it in like the middle of like in Inglewood, which is just a car center development area, and so a lot of fans, they can't just go to a game now. They have to go to traffic, and you know, you had to plan ahead of time, like your rush hour schedules in Los Angeles, and find ways to park. And yeah, now they went from having full attendance every game to 70% attendance.
Now, Brady, you know, broader for your public transport, you know, you're selling people on it. Like, where in your life have you been that has the best public transportation, and what did you like about it?
Okay, so I think I mentioned a couple times on the Blathering that I'm Asian American, so I've been to Asia a few times, and yeah, that's bar none some of the best transit in the world. And I will say,
is there like a specific city that you remember being like, this is great?
It's hard to rank, but I'd say.
What was the kind? Was it like a train? Was it like bus system? Like what was it?
I would say the Hong Kong transit system and the Taipei transit system are really good. I know Shanghai is also really good. I haven't tried it yet. But let me tell you this. Like, okay, it's like currently 90 degrees in Los Angeles, and it's you know, if you've been to like New York Transit, it's baking. They got air conditioned subways and you should, if it's just 90 degrees humid, you just go to the subway and just chill, you know. And yeah, I don't know, Alden, did you experience in the Tokyo Metro, like they have shops in the train stations too?
Yeah, no, we got some nice ones, you know, in the Chiba area, or like, you know, Shibuya and Shinjuku and all those. You know, it's pretty touristy, but like, yeah, it was they're immaculate, they're welcoming, they're considerate in the infrastructure, the way they're built. I've talked about this before, but like in the it must have been somewhere in Chiba, the train station we were at. Oh no, it was the train station of downtown Disney, or right before, has you know, like little seats for your baby to sit inside of the stall, so like you could be shitting and you don't have to worry, but it's like built into the wall, so it's like a little like baby area. You plop them in, there's room, you're not like super crammed in there. Like it's honestly embarrassing to have come back here and see how far behind we are in some of these things. But Brady, you know, before we let you go, what would you say is the best like instance of public transportation that you've ever had? Have you ever seen someone do something cool or funny, or have you ever, like, you know, is there a public transportation moment that is connected to like something that really meant a lot to you, like taking the train to like a special event or like anything like that?
Oh yeah, this actually happened in America, in Los Angeles. I was taking the LA subway. Yes, we have a subway. To go to the Dodgers parade, and oh my god, the train station was full. It was like Tokyo rush hour. We were cramming in, but we're all Dodgers fans, and so we're just talking about the game. And baseball crowds, like someone's gonna start taking me out to the ball game, and so we just, at least a big group of us started singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." It's like, yeah, it was great.
I'm a big fan of public singing. A lot of people like to poo-poo it and act like they're too cool for it. But if you can get a song going, we used to get at Florida SuperCon. It was kind of our little tradition to get as many people as we could to do Bohemian Rhapsody, like while in line. And people, it's fun. It's fun. If you cross your arms at like public singing like that, then I'm just going to assume that somebody shamed you at some point.
Yeah, come on.
And you would love soccer. It's all we do is we sing the whole time.
I'm a big fan of the singing and the chanting. That is a way to sucker me in for sure.
Yeah, we need good soccer chanting in American sports.
That's a great take. We really do. I believe that we can win. We get clowned on for that internationally. We really do, because that's the best we've got. And I'm a sucker because I don't hate it, but it's sad that that's the best we can do as a country for soccer chants. So yeah, no, you're absolutely right, Birdie.
International fans of pretty much everything are better.
We do. Hey, I know there's a lot of reasons to not be super patriotic right now, Alden. I'm right there with you, buddy. But there's a few sports is that one last bastion where we can wrap ourselves in the flag at least somewhat. And there's a few things where damn it, American exceptionalism is alive in sports. So I will carry that flag,
like,
damn it.
The most American I feel is watching like Top Gun Maverick. Like watching Maverick during that movie, I want to stand for the entire time saluting. Like that movie makes me feel like I can do anything for a country that absolutely does not exist. But the fictional America in that movie, peak. Absolutely peak.
That's what's nice about watching like the women's soccer team. That's what's nice about watching the men's American basketball team. Like some of our sports that we are really good in on the international stage, because they are like, they're representing the flag and the people, but they're not necessarily, especially the women's soccer team, they don't kiss up to the establishment itself necessarily. You know what I mean? I mean, our dear leader has plenty of his own opinions on our women's soccer team and stuff like that. Sure. So like I said, it's one of those places where you can still feel good about really wrapping yourself in the flag, and I'll give it that.
For real. Brady, thank you so much, man. We're going to be doing more of these. We look forward to hearing from you. I appreciate you. And
thank you, Brady.
Yeah, we're going to get on to our next caller. It was great meeting you, man. And I am very excited. Hopefully it doesn't take this long to hang again, but for 2027 celebration.
I'll show you the ways.
For sure, man. All right. Have a good rest of your night, dude. We'll
Thank
see
you, Brady.
All right. We're going to stay in Los Angeles and head over now to, we were doing baby talk earlier. Here's somebody who was a baby just a few years ago and is already in college. It's funny how that works out. Eli is here from the In a Galaxy podcast. Eli, yeah, we'll remove the banner here.
I'll get rid of the banner. We don't get paid all
day. Okay, there we go.
There we go.
So, Eli, you are going to chat with us real quick about Fantastic Four and Superman. These are both July releases that are coming up soon. I mean, it's like it seemed like it was a long time from now, but it is creeping up. Everything's creeping up. So,
I know Eli, Fantastic Four's 25th. I think Superman's like a few weeks earlier than that.
It's the 11th. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm as Alden, as you know, I am gotten into Marvel in the last like 2 years. I'm very late on the trend. I'm even later to DC. The only DC films I've seen are Superman and Superman 2. That's it. Okay. And so like I'm just interested because I've seen like a lot of like first with Superman, like I've seen a lot of hype about the other superheroes in the movie, which I'm not familiar with. The Hawk Girls and the Mr. Terrific is another one. Like,
you're gonna meet a few. You're gonna meet a few.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I'm absolutely gonna see Superman in theaters. How do you think like that is gonna like play into everything? Basically, like how do you like? Obviously, the narrative's still about Superman.
Sure,
but like,
I mean like. My in-world guess, is kind of what I don't know. I don't expect them to be like that big of a deal. I think they're going to be part of like the world sort of like table setting, like how you go back to the Marvel Phase 1 and it's like it's not that like Iron Man is quote unquote the first, but then like we've revealed later. Well, actually, Carol was there, Steve was there. Like I think they're gonna be, we're jumping into a world that already has heroes. Gunn is not gonna do a complete ground up because it would be silly at this point to do that in 2025.
Yeah,
but the way that it looks, big picture creatively, having seen the Peacemaker season 2 trailer now. Green Lantern, Guy Gardner, the Nathan Fillion version, Hawk Girl, like that team is in that trailer. So I feel like they are going to be sort of the douchebag, like Coulson figures. Like they're gonna be like where Coulson was like this straight-laced, cool shield agent that built up phase 1. I think Gunn is gonna gunnify that and give us a team of loser heroes, not losers because Hawk Girl's not a loser, but like a more contentious relationship with a team that will be around, and then the arrival of Superman on the scene will push us from a place with heroes to a great place. So I see them as being sort of like secondary characters that you will engage with, kind of like how an Ant-Man like Falcon is there. I expect them to have that much of an impact, but
no, I'm really interested to see like I've seen again, I'm not fully caught up with Marvel stuff, but I've seen the first 2 Guardians, some of my favorites in the MCU, absolutely. So I'm completely on board with James Gunn doing his thing there. But the main thing I want to talk about is the thing behind me, which is Fantastic Four, which is going to be the first MCU film I get to see in theaters. I didn't go out to Thunderbolts because I haven't seen any of the prerequisites other than Ant-Man the Wasp.
No, I hear you. Yeah, Black Widow and all that.
Yeah. Well, actually, that's not true. I just watched Falcon and Winter Soldier, but I didn't watch Black Widow, and like there are like half the characters from Black Widow, and so But I haven't seen the Fan Force stick, but I have seen
waste of time.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I've seen the other first 2, the 2000s ones, and I watched the animated show. And I've actually just read the Coming of Galactus. And that's honestly my thing I'm interested about for this, which is we've had the Coming of Galactus story told so many times. And I know that Marvel isn't dumb enough to just do it again.
Sure.
So I'm interested to see what the wrinkles in that story will be. Obviously, I think the one that sticks out for me is it's not Norrin Rad this time. It's Shala Bal. Who's coming as the Silver Surfer. But also like there's Herbie the robot, and there's like John Malkovich is going to be in this. Like, either of you have thoughts about like how it's going to differentiate itself from other Comic of Galactus stories?
Yeah, it's going to be good, Eli. That's the first. That's the first and simplest thing to say. Like the Coming of Galactus as told in Rise of the Silver Surfer is complete and utter ass. Like it's not that movie doesn't have things to offer, because it is still kind of fun. I think that the Johnny power trading gag is pretty cool, and like there are things about the movie that I like. But I think this is going to be the retro 60s, and it being in one of many worlds. I think is going to provide for a lot. I don't want to tip my hat to things I've heard or things that have been kind of out there, but like, very light spoilers for Thunderbolts. I'm going to allude to the post-credit scene.
I've heard about the post-credit scene. Yeah.
Steve, you haven't seen it yet.
No, I haven't. I've got a spoilers thing here. Hold on. It's
okay.
Full screen thing. Hold on, boys. Hold on. Everyone relax.
I can't wait.
Everybody relax. You guys are gonna be off camera for a second because we're gonna God damn it. Nope, that's not it. All right, we're gonna go single thing. Boom. All right. Do your thing. I'm muting.
For the post-credit scene of Thunderbolts.
All right. So I'm not even gonna give you the whole context for the scene, but I'm doing this. I know
what it is, but good with the context.
Because Kingsport Cal says, "Where was the spoilers for Andor?" Well, Kingsport, it's the greatest fucking TV show ever, so I've been told. So everybody would have already watched it 100 times. I'm kidding, but the without even giving you the how or the why, the post credits of Thunderbolts is a Fantastic Four tease, and that shouldn't be too much of a shock because it's the next film. But it is, as you can put together, 2 + 2 = 4. They're not in this world, but now they're gonna be. And so I think that is, obviously we knew that because they're in the Doomsday announcement and because they're being teed up. So I think that kind of answers your question, Eli. Is like, how is this going to be a fresh adaptation? Is that in some way, I think it is safe money to say that Galactus will be either a multiversal being or will have an interest in becoming a multiversal being. I think that is because he's very hungry. And I think it would behoove Galactus to be like, hey, there's unlimited worlds out there to eat. There you go. So I think that is my nerdy guess. Now we can switch back here. I don't know if Steve can hear me, but Steve, you are good to return whenever you want, and we'll have Steve's. Steve, there we go. Here, I'll remove Steve. That way, Steve can pop in.
Right, yeah.
Whenever Steve's ready. The comment here from Ken Plume, I love this take on the Fantastic Four is going to lean into the sincerity, family, and sense of wonder that'll hallmarks of the best F4 stories. Don't get me started on this topic. Well, Plume, you did get started, and I agree with you. I think that immediately what we see here, just based on the trailers, is some of the most important integrity-based sort of emotional thrust of it, and also Sue. The anchor of both trailers is Sue saying as a family, that moment. Now we also know that she's going to be pregnant in the film for how she has Franklin at the end or in the middle. We don't know. But Franklin Richards, their son, is on the way. And this is a character. There you are.
In the comics, as I understand, he's a mutant, right?
Yeah. I was I realized that we didn't give a how to come back signal. But I figured you would eventually see. But yeah, it's Franklin is by default a mutant because he's born with abilities. The who's a mutant just comes down to that, really. Namor is the first recorded mutant.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's going to lean into the family. It's going to lean into the aspirational quality, which is the thing about Superman as well. Both of these coming out in the same month when we need them more than ever, I would argue, are these characters that really you want to. You can't be like them, but they make you want to be the best you. Yeah. And that's the thing. And I think First Avenger tapped into that. I think that in its own way, Guardians did. They're not aspirational because they are more like us, but they speak to us. Yeah. And I think that the Fantastic Four and Superman are both these pillars that are optimistic and unabashedly so, which is the key. It's not hokey,
Which I appreciate just because of a lot of the stuff at the beginning of this year with Thunderbolts, with Daredevil, even crossing fandoms into Andor, has been very as to not add to the meme too much dark and gritty, that sort of thing, the dark underbelly, the not everything's okay, and I think the contrast of that I think will be a nice sort of cleanser at least a little bit. As for Kingsport Kell's first comment where he added me about a certain Latvian dictator.
Sure. You want Doom to be in this movie?
I've heard things. Again, I'm not going to say anything. I've heard things that he will not be in the main body of the film.
Yeah.
But I'm really interested. I'm one of the people who, when it was announced at SDCC, I wasn't immediately as against it as I think many people were. Yeah. I think it could be really good. Yeah. It's all about execution.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to get too much down the Robert Downey Jr. rabbit hole here, just because I don't want to be here until 2 a.m. Yeah, but the other thing about it too is that I've been on this hill, and I'm not trying to shit on anybody when I say this, but when people throw their little tantrums about how much they want an accurate Doom, it's you don't know what you're asking for.
What the fuck does that mean, Alden?
Because it's what does accurate Doom mean? When people rage and they're
no, you know what I mean. When they're asking that question is what I mean. You know
exactly. Well, they don't know because and I know they want the iconography, and I know there are things that I know are very basic that I would also love to see. I want to see the leader of Latveria. I want to see the blending of science and magic. There are all those things. But when people are when are we going to get the faithful adaptation of his story? It's you're not, because it, much like the Ancient One, much like other things, is rooted in some really like. Do you want to see, first of all, the term gypsy thrown around a lot in one of these films, and then watch that woman get sent to hell and like all the stuff that comes with that Doom origin? So we're going to be ironing out, no pun intended with iron, but like we're going to be ironing out stuff anyway. We're going to be updating things anyway. Like we're going to be blending. And when it comes to the Downey of it all, I know that they said at Comic-Con, he's Victor Von Doom. If you honestly think in your heart of hearts,
well, they also said that he's going to be connected to Tony Stark somehow.
You think this is not a Stark?
Listen, I know, but I don't know if Eli does. You tell me your Tony Stark theory here.
I don't have a personal Stark theory of like how, but like this is going to be a Stark variant. Like there's just no way.
It's not. Okay.
Or if it's not a Stark variant, which would, because again, this is the multiverse saga. But this is the multiverse saga.
If it really wasn't, if they actually had the balls to not make it anything Stark related.
But that's the thing, is that like even if it's not a Stark variant, it will be Stark related. Like,
and
here's what I mean by that. Let's say it's not a Stark variant, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say this is Victor Von Doom pulling the strings. Mm-hmm. I could also buy that Victor from wherever he is dream walks into Stark's corpse. I could buy that he uses science, magic, technology, whatever, to make himself look like Stark as an insult. Or because of his own facial insecurity and vanity. I could buy that I could buy a million different things. I could buy that there's like a Council of Dooms out there in the way that there's a Council of Reeds. One of them looks like Stark, and they send that one on purpose to rattle the Avengers. There's so many paths, but it will be acknowledged that he looks like Tony Stark. Why spend the money on this?
Exactly. We're not going to do an Iron Man 2.
That I get. No, that I totally get. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. I was going to say the one I have in my mind, and I think if executed well, it would be great, except for the fact that people would like. Some people have predicted this, and the predictability is its own other. Like the fan theorizing is the total other thing, but like the idea of like a flashback of like the events of Iron Man and the events of the Avengers and the events of Age of Ultron. But it's re-recorded. But instead, Tony makes all the wrong choices instead of all the right choices, and like he does, he does make Ultron work the way he wanted to, or
they become the Doom bots, and they like. There's an easy path here, and like like Plume said here, there is no faithful adaptation, but there's always a blending of aesthetics, and they've been doing this since the beginning of the MCU. For example, Hawkeye and Widow in the MCU are aesthetically and functionally ultimate Hawkeye and Widow from the comics. They are SHIELD agents, like if they did comic book Hawkeye, like he would have the the purple and everything, and Natasha is like 80 in the comics. She's also a super soldier. So it's like they've always been blending things. I predict that we will see a aesthetically the infamous Iron Man look, which was when Doom took over that role, and it was the silver armor but still had the hood and everything. That just feels very Marvel, feels very movie MCU. But yeah, I think we're looking at something here that will probably play with the themes of choice that you're talking about, Eli. I could see it like, what if he's from a world where the Starks and the Von Dooms are one family? Like instead of Howard marrying Maria Stark, maybe he married this Latvian woman, and like you could do so many things. You could do so many things. And people are, well, why would they do this? It's lazy. It's lazy. They just want to make money. Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, they want to make money. Cool. Yeah, cool. Yeah, yeah. That's what movie studios want. Yeah. I can't hear Steve.
Steve, you're muted.
Producer Steve's an amateur. I have a question for you boys. And this is from Brady's question here in the chat. He says, or his really statement. Really. He says, "I've never seen any Doom storyline, so I'm going in green. Sell Brady on Doctor Doom. What is, without being like a spoilery, I guess, but like give us the MO on Doctor Doom."
The thing about Doom that's really cool, well, I mean, many things that are cool, is, as I've already mentioned, it's a blending of science and magic. So it's like he has a foot in the world of the Starks and the Richards and the Banners, but he also has a foot in the world of Doctor Strange and everything that's happening.
He's also royalty.
Yeah, he's royalty. He's the head of state. He's got a whole country that he thinks about. So it's like when you have T'Challa running a nation who's a pure of heart person. There's also somebody running a nation who is a rat bastard, and that's but Doom is also, he has a code of, I wouldn't even call it honor, but he has a code of ethics. So it's like Doom will not condone like the Red Skull. Like he's not condoning Nazism. He's not like even as recently as in X-Men 97, there's a brief moment where you see a bunch of villains on screen, and Doom is kind of like, yeah, we're doing this now, but I'll fucking deal with you later. Like Doom sort of, he prides himself on being the greatest in all areas. He once attained godhood and famously told Valeria Richards, I was a god once, Valeria, and I found it beneath me. Like he is the ultimate narcissist, and I think it's best sort of summed up. This will be the last thing I say, and then we got to move on. But like, it's the, why does Doom wear the mask? In some iterations, he's horribly disfigured. Most of the time, he's horribly disfigured. It's burnt or melted or whatever. He has no nose. But there are also some interesting takes where the mask comes off and all he has is a tiny little scar. But he's just that much of a narcissist that he sees that as a horrible disfigurement, and that sort of speaks to his sort of psychosis. But yeah,
there's
I'm
thinking of like, if with the escalation of how the Avengers villains have worked, if Thanos is the escalation from Loki, then I feel like Doom is the natural escalation from Thanos. And there's the whole like Thanos choking Loki at the beginning of Infinity War, and then of course we have that famous comic panel where Doom rips out Thanos' skeleton. Where I'm not saying we'll see that, but I wouldn't surprise me if we saw that.
Yeah. Well, Eli, I love you, pal. I'm gonna let you go because we got to get to some other calls. But I'm excited to talk about these movies. If you can catch Black Widow soon and go see Thunderbolts before it's out of theaters, definitely do so. But we will. I talk to you all the time, so I don't gotta worry about you.
Yeah. Right. No, excellent.
Eli, go do your homework.
All right, Eli. Thank you so much, Eli. Thank you. Oh, I want to see Thunderbolts so bad, dude. I said in the comments earlier, I haven't been to a movie theater since Barbenheimer. My daughter was actually born the Monday after Barbenheimer. That's
like honestly pretty crazy.
That was the last thing my wife and I did before we had the baby. Like we went to Oppenheimer on Saturday, Barbie on Sunday, because we wanted Barbie as like the palate cleanser. Figured that was like a better second choice in that order. Yeah. And then we had the baby on Monday. So
damn, dude.
I haven't been to a movie theater since, man.
She was born under the stars of cinema. She's gonna have really
seriously, and that was like, that really was our. I mean, Maverick was a big one too, but that really was like, movies are back after like post-COVID. Barbenheimer really meant like, hey, we can do this thing as a culture. God, man, remember when shit was like almost kind of sort of normal, Alden? It was great.
Yeah, it was awesome for.
It was awesome.
I don't know. Maybe that summer, I guess, was awesome, and then shit got bad again.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I literally only speak relatively. You know what I mean? Just compared to now.
I mean, like I said that before, like our age group has never, our age group has never known a precedented time.
Well, I mean, see, here's the thing. So, like, you're a little bit younger than me, so like, and I don't want to get too deep, but like, for me, like, people talk about like different generational divides and everything like that, and like, do you remember 9/11 happening? I don't want to get too deep, but like, do you remember that happening? See, to me, that is like the divide. Like, if you remember the world before 9/11, then you're a millennial.
I don't really remember the world before it, but I remember that day. I'm that cusp. I'm a cusp millennial, and I'm a cusp by this metric because I was in kindergarten. Right. So it's like, I remember the hysteria of my mom and my sister and everybody.
Right.
But I don't remember like walking to the gate at the airport without like that stuff was a little bit above me. But no, you're right, because I'm December 95, so I'm literally in the last bracket.
Yeah. No, I mean, I do. I remember when airports were easy as shit. I remember the world before the internet was like a total. I remember getting the internet, like that was a thing. Like when we got the internet in the house for the first time, we had a gateway computer that had a big old cow fucking print box on it, and getting online and all that kind of shit. That was a big deal. But yeah, so no, but anyway, but that was that was so that this all comes back to, like I said before, like that was the last time we when we had like good times. I haven't been to a movie since then. Like I said, having a baby and all that shit, it's hard to get babysitters, have someone watch 2 Black Labs, and and all that jazz, and actually get out for 3 hours. But you know,
Damn.
I've got a good little, you know, speaking of, tomorrow's Mother's Day. So if any of you out there haven't, you know, haven't realized it, make sure you call your mom tomorrow if you are able to. And I've got a good little Mother's Day thing planned for the wife tomorrow. We're gonna go to Lowe's. We're gonna go get some plant shit. Alden, we're gonna get mulch. We're gonna get flowers, and we're gonna do like a flower bed kind of thing day in the front of the house. We're gonna give mom like a whole little garden thing. So that's
awesome.
That's
man.
our
Good
Mother's
for you.
Day thing for me and the wife, and we'll have the baby out there. We'll just have her hanging out with us and chilling. She'll have, hopefully she doesn't eat shit, but that's, you know,
No, for
that's
real.
what we'll do. So.
Hey man, she's the age right now where she can eat shit and shake it off.
That's true. Yeah, we got to build that immune system, right? So
for sure. This next gentleman here,
let's do it. Who are we bringing on?
Was 20 and
hold on. I'm sorry. Hold on. I don't mean to interrupt you. Osvetnik, your Mother's Day idea is manual labor.
Yeah,
my wife is 20 weeks pregnant as well. I'm doing the manual labor.
She's going to, her gift is watching.
She's directing. Right, exactly. Yeah. She's going to be
Creative
out there. She's going to have a mocktail. She's going to be playing with the baby, saying, no, Steve, put the mulch there, put that flower there, do all that. That's the plan. So just for the record, I didn't want that to come off the wrong way. Boys, it's been 2.5 almost hours. I'm like 4 beers deep. We're having a good time. Thank you, everyone who's still here. Sorry, Alden, for delaying. Who we got next?
Good. So we got Cal. Cal said in the chat that Cal wants to talk about motorcycles, which is basically going to be Cal telling us about motorcycles. I don't fucking have one.
I was going to say, because fuck that, dude. I'm way too much of a pussy going on a motorcycle. Excuse my language.
So here's Cal. Cal, you're here. We have your audio, Cal. Cal, man, tell us about your bike. What's going on?
Producer Steve, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, my friend.
All right. I want to get that clear first.
Good.
No, I don't have a motorcycle. I'm not a maniac. I don't want to kill myself.
Oh, so you want to dunk on people that do have them?
No, I do not. I think motorcycles are fucking awesome.
Okay.
I see them all the time. You'll never catch me on a motorcycle.
So what's your angle?
I'm with you, man.
I don't have an angle.
You said you wanted to talk about motorcycles.
You said I had to put something in the
Yeah, because I'm trying to avoid what's happening right now, Cal.
Cal, do you want to spin the wheel? Hold on, Cal, this is what it's for. Cal, let's spin the wheel.
Please, the last dollar you got.
You're gonna end up spinning the wheel.
Cal.
Jesus Christ.
Cal, we're gonna spin the wheel.
You're spinning
if you don't have anything else, we're spinning the fucking wheel.
Spin the wheel. You threatened me with the time. That was happening.
We're spinning the wheel.
All right.
I love you, Cal.
I hope I get Elmo. Producer Steve, I want to say what's up to you, but Alan started coming in with all this bullshit.
No, you can. Oh, please, no. I mean, we can get back to support.
Sports. Oh, hell no.
No, this is where you and me, Cal, are going to convince Alden that, we're going to convince Alden that sports are cool and that they're worth giving his time.
Do you have the jazz music?
I do. I can turn the jazz music. Well, see, someone said that the jazz music was only coming on in the private area or in the private area. Ooh, that sounds terrible. It's after dark, baby. It was coming on in the green room, but not over YouTube. So I can try to play the jazz music again and see if it comes up. You know, tell us in the chat if you hear music. If you don't, then I don't know what I don't know what the fuck to tell you. I just started messing with it today. Folks, this is Blathering Backstage. This is the training, breeding ground of experimentation where we're allowed to make mistakes. So if you hear music, let us know. You hear it. Totally Quinn says they hear it. So if it's too loud, tell us to turn it down and stuff. Because, you know, again, didn't do any testing. So thank you, Alden.
Hey.
See, Alden knows what the hell he's doing. All right, Cal, go ahead. Do you have something to say?
Yes, Steve wants your sports take.
I want Cal. I want you and me we're gonna convince Alden that sports are worth his time. So if you have a specific, I have a sport in mind to convince Alden with, but do you have a sport that you would pick that says, all right, Alden, this is why sports are worth your time. This is why you should watch. Knowing Alden's tastes and interests.
I don't know if Cal's audio is cut or not.
Cal might be all right. Well, Cal, then you just interrupt me when you can hear me again. I'll go first then. All right.
Cal might be all right. Well, Cal, then you.
Nope. Now we're just muting stuff. I muted Cal for a moment. Cal, get your shit together.
Oh, Cal's mic went out. Okay, Cal, let us know when you're good. Let's move. Let's move then.
Let's just move on.
Let's go to Jerry. Can you hang for a sec? Or do you need to go now?
He's
all right. Let's go to Osvetnik because whatever the fuck is happening with Jerry should probably be last, just on visuals alone. Osvetnik is here. Osvetnik, man, what do you got for us?
What's up, dude?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
How's it going, man?
Let's spin that wheel.
Let's spin the fucking wheel. I love you, dude. Let's spin the wheel, dog. All right. We'll Cal, if you ever come back, we'll do sports again. Here we go. What are you playing? I was expecting. Are you a video game guy? Christ, I can't even talk anymore, Alden.
Yes,
okay.
I am.
What are you playing, dog?
All right. Right now, I have restarted Elden Ring for like the third time. I've never completed it. I always get to a point where I have no idea what's going on, and then I drop it for months or longer, play something else, and then think, I paid for this, I'm going to complete it. And so I'm on Elden Ring again.
Okay, have you gotten to the DLC yet, or are you not even there?
No, I just kind of I think I'm level like 30 and still kind of running around Limgrave and Weeping Peninsula area.
Alden, you an Elden Ring guy?
I have never played it, but it sounds really stressful.
Have you ever played any of the Dark Souls type of games?
Not really.
So not your bag?
No, not that it's not. It's just I just haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those genre. Oh shit! Sorry for the mic squeak. It's one of those games that's like, if you're okay with just like pissing yourself off and doing the same thing over and over and over, not from a grinding standpoint, but from a, you keep dying and you have to like learn the patterns and kind of shit. It's super fun. But it isn't my favorite. See, Brady says it's kind of like Fallen Order. I can see where you say that, but like, not only is it like way harder, but it's like, Brady, Fallen
Order tells you where to go.
Because exactly. Elden Ring, that's just a different flavor though. Like that's just a different thing. But like, I just think like objectively, Elden Ring is just like harder from a mechanical standpoint. Like playing those bosses and shit in Elden Ring is way harder than any of the bosses you have to play in the Jedi games. And Brady, I'm not trying to dump on you. I just mean from like a genre kind of standpoint, like mechanics wise, it is.
I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
The thing that draws me in mostly is exploring and trying to figure out what the heck is even going on in this game.
Well, George R. R. Martin was like one of the, like, it's like his story, right? So
yeah, but I have a hard time even grasping what the story even is because it's not like there's a tracker of any kind in the game to like remind you what happened or like anything. So
yeah,
but yeah.
Well, Alden, since we're on the topic, what are you playing? What's your most recent thing?
Mostly just like alternating between Rivals and Baldur's Gate, and then when applicable, Outlaws. Like after watching Andor, I had a hankering to kill stormtroopers. So
have you gone through all of Outlaws like main story? Have you finished it? Okay,
I've done everything.
What is the DLC? So. Okay. So and they're still releasing DLC throughout the year, right?
Yeah. So they did one in the fall. That was the Lando one. Mm-hmm. Now next is the Hondo one that's coming up this month.
Okay,
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's gonna be exciting. Sweet. So
awesome, good stuff. Well, Svegna, thank you for coming on. Thank you for spinning the wheel. We appreciate it. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Saves me the trouble of coming up with a topic. I love
it. That's what the wheel's for, baby. That's what we're all about. We make those calls nice and easy. The wheel is magic. So thank you so much, man.
No problem. Nice talking to you both. Later.
All right, take care, man. Talk to you soon.
Now, Cal's back, and Cal wanted the Elmo spin. So to save time, because we also have Jerry queued up.
Yep.
Cal's gonna. Cal, you're on. Yep. Jump into your Elmo thought, since we're gonna skip the wheel.
We're just gonna go right to Elmo, Ken.
It's not fair.
Or not Cal. What do you mean? What's not fair? Hey, look! You
First
got
of all,
Elmo
why does
organically.
music
Look at
play?
that! Look at that! You got Elmo just right off the bat. Oh man, it wasn't. Oh, but I can't even look at it because it wasn't up. You got Elmo all on its own, man. Like legit. So here you go, Elmo. What do you want to say about Elmo? Because I have a story about Elmo.
I don't have any thoughts about Elmo. I just wanted to say Elmo because I thought it was funny.
Okay, well, I have a thing on Elmo. If you look up Elmo, if you Google right now Elmo LinkedIn, I'll pull it up if I can find it right here.
You expect me
Elmo,
to do this, producer
Elmo,
Steve? You expect me to actually do that?
You know, I'm gonna do it, Cal. You don't have to do anything. You just hang out. Cal, I have 4.5 beers deep. I have had a meeting or two with Benjamin Button. I am doing shit on StreamYard that I've never had to do before. I just saw Alden's like eyebrows go up and down once or twice. I have never. I'm looking up. So, anyways, Elmo. Here's why Elmo's on the board. Cal, here's why Elmo's on the board.
Wait a minute. I will end this for you. I applaud you for your efforts tonight, and I think you both have done a very good job.
That's so sweet.
And I don't think y'all need anybody babysitting y'all. It's been a very good
well,
job.
we're lucky. I don't know if Ken Flume is still here, but if he is, thank God.
He's
probably an adult.
Flume is upstairs making pizza rolls because that's what.
Well, I have. When I gave you Pooch Cam, that's usually me checking on the monitors to see how Ken Knapsack is doing in the basement. I can let you guys know that he has gotten out of the straitjacket. He is free mobily. He is now he's now going through the exercises of having to write production meeting notes for movie trivia and for movie talk shows like Collider Talk and Jedi Council. So once he's gone through like 365 days of producer notes, he will be able to move on to the next challenge. So he'll be ready by Monday. Don't worry.
Steve,
go ahead. Sorry.
I think you might have drank a little bit too much.
Oh, absolutely. Cal, I drank too much 45 minutes ago. Go ahead.
Well, it's all in fun, man. Hashtag real dag. You know, you got to hang out, do your thing.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Every once in a while, you got to have fun. And I encourage you to take your lady friend to Sinners, man. It's a great movie.
Dude. I want to go. I've heard amazing things. Babysitters are expensive, especially ones that can handle my 2 crazy black labs. So I'm working on it.
I knew it. I said that in the chat when you first showed Shady. I guess that's the name of the dog.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes,
I said, is that a lab? I put lab.
He is. He's a black lab. Man. He's an 11-year-old black lab. He is the love of my life. He's named after Shady LaShawn McCoy. He got traded to the Bills about 8 months or so after Shady was born because, you know, that's my fucking luck. Alden, I'm a big Philadelphia Eagles fan. That's a whole sports thing. We'll talk about some other time, Alden. Anyway,
my Eagles fly.
Cal,
thank you, Alden.
I had a black lab. I had a black lab raw mix.
Okay.
A black lab Rottweiler mix, and he was named Bone.
Love it.
Good dog.
Attaboy. We love Bones. We love Bones.
I'm a little older than you. Anyway,
Cal, we had Elmo on the wheel because Elmo put a LinkedIn profile out that he said he was laid off from Sesame Street amid Trump's budget cuts. So Elmo put out a great post in which he said, unfortunately, Elmo was recently laid off because of the federal budget cuts. Elmo worked at Sesame Street for 45 years. Elmo was sad. Elmo loved his time at Sesame Street. So what are your thoughts, Cal, on Elmo being unemployed?
Well, it's sad, dude. I mean, Elmo wasn't really. Well, Elmo came a little later for me, but you know, Sesame Street was around, and I watched it and everything. I love Sesame Street, but I don't know how can you end educational program? Well, I assume, or what I heard, or what I think I know, because I don't dig too much deep into it, is that somebody's going to pick up Sesame Street and hopefully keep it going. Not sure. Alden might know about it.
I thought it's on like on HBO or something now. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they had it all, and then there was talk of them removing them, and I'm not sure what their plan is going forward.
Elmo works for HBO now. Yeah,
but
I do.
Elmo. Musk wants to cut funding to PBS, hence Elmo getting kicked to the curb. So
look, I will take Elmo and any of his friends over any Republican any day. Fuck it. It's not even a decision. I mean, look, it's way too late in the show to really get like heated about this, but like it is, this is the plan. Like, this is it. Like, they want an uneducated voter base.
Yes.
And so they're not just going to go after quote unquote woke and quote unquote DEI in
right.
college libraries, they also have to go after the little ones. You know, like if Elmo's teaching kids to accept everybody and to process emotion and to engage with art and to learn about numbers and letters and stories and whatever else, then that's not good for the Republican platform. You know, they need fucking morons.
They can't read. They don't want them to read so they can read the truth.
That's
right. You know
by design.
Yep.
They hate anyway.
I do have something for you.
Please.
It's a little politically charged. I didn't hear y'all talk about it on Anytime.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, we can be paid. We can get paid to be racist.
Oh, the lady that. Oh yeah, that lady. Okay, Alden.
Yeah,
I'm gonna let you go off. I know you. I'm sure you. Alden, tell me, you have thoughts on this, right? Like, do you have Do you think you have like 2 minutes on this? Because I really have to pee.
I have 2 seconds on this. I think COVID took the wrong people. That's what I think.
All right. Well, do you think you could go like 90 seconds on it?
Go pee. I need
to pee. Man. All right. Let me give you shitty.
You have to raise your hand to piss, Steve.
Dude, I gotta go, man. It's been a while.
All right,
I'll be right back.
Let's go pee.
Go piss, girl.
Stop drinking all that goddamn beer.
It's just like it is so this country, right? Like it's like that story made me think of in Bill Burr's new special. He has a bit about how it is more illegal in this country to drive in a high occupancy lane with only one person than it is to be in the fucking Klan. So it's just like we've been protecting these people forever, whether it's by not going after the Klan, or by allowing Jeff Sessions to still have a career, or by allowing Bannon to have a career. This is just the next step. It's like we've been paying these people, you know. So it's like, you know, Hulk Hogan still gets paid. And so it's like, it doesn't surprise me that people flock to this lady, because much like dipshit swimmer who couldn't, you know, win the big one, or much like, you know, Harrison, Mr. fucking get back in the kitchen ladies on the Chiefs, like we're always paying these people, whether it's officially or through online portals. And so it doesn't shock me at all. I wish her nothing but ill. You know, I'm no longer in the phase of my life where I'm like, I hope they see the error of their ways. No, I hope they see a fucking like bleak reality that they've chosen forever. I wish nothing but ill on her, and I hope that she never knows a moment of peace.
One of the takeaways I got from this, Alvin, was people always say they're like, "Oh, racism isn't real. It's not a thing. The Klan isn't real." First of all, 50% of America voted for a racist. Voted for those racisms. If that's not proof enough, then second of all, we have this whole situation where a racist is awarded for scolding a 5-year-old child who's autistic. Now, tell me racism isn't real. It's not a thing anymore. We're making a big deal out of it. Nobody sees it.
Yeah, no, it's insane. I mean, because it's a gaslighting op. It's a shitty gaslighting op, but it's just like they want to be like, oh, well, it's not real. We're all about merit, but you're not about merit, because if it's a rapist, it's okay because he's white. If it's your dipshit drug addict kid, it's okay because he's white. If it's, you know, some neo-Nazi, it's okay because he's white. Like it's such a smoke and mirrors act, and you know, to invoke Andor. It's, you know, what the senator from Gore says in the show, like they can't even be bothered to lie badly anymore. So, you know, that's where we're at. And you know what, Cal, I actually have something. I have something for you. Are you ready here?
What's that?
I have something, but unfortunately, to reveal this surprise, I'm going to take you out and then bring the surprise in. But are you ready?
All right.
Are you looking at the screen? I want to make sure you're looking.
Yes, sir.
Right.
But I'm on a delay. But yes, sir.
You're good. So Cal. We're going to lose Kingsport Cal because, you know, we're talking about the state of the world. We're talking about everything that's going on.
I just got back and I just heard things, terrible things. So I'm going to.
We're talking about the racist lady that everybody's giving her money and like
right.
all that shit. We're just talking about the state of the world, talking about how the Republicans and the right want to gaslight us into thinking that they're all about merit and not about race. But I actually have someone who works in the profession with us today. I have a really prominent judge.
Yes. Okay.
An honorable judge who's here, who's going to weigh in not just on Cal's concerns and our concerns, but on the concerns of the world. And that is the Honorable Judge Cable is here.
Well, I was not camera ready. What do you call?
So this was my. No, I think it actually added. It actually added to the storytelling of the moment. So the honorable Judge
crunch
Cable
in the bag as he came in was just amazing.
Maybe
the crunch.
Maybe Alden.
Spectacular.
Maybe that was the bit.
Maybe that was the bit.
Hey, don't pull the curtain too far back, Jerry. Come on, Jerry. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Judge Cable.
Yes.
You've taken time out of your extremely busy schedule to be here tonight. I know normally your area of expertise, you normally see bombad tier cases, but tonight I want you to tackle anti-black racism. Go. What can we do to solve racism?
Fix racism, Jerry. Go.
Ponder this many nights in my chamber I have, talking like Yoda I am for some reason. No, not why. I don't know. Listen. This is a little out of my expertise. Usually, I am just talking about, I don't know which bar patron of Oga's Cantina has the best ass.
Okay.
And that's pretty much all I. That's pretty much all I preside over. But I mean, I don't know. Just if you see the shit, just tell them to fucking stop. Just do your best to stop that shit.
Sure.
Nip it in the bud. Like, don't let it continue. That's what I say.
Bold.
There you go. That's
bold.
That.
Bold's hard.
Our bold solution to racism is don't do it.
Just don't let it happen. Just don't let it happen.
Just don't do that.
Again, no. I see. This is Alden brings me into immediately. Get me into trouble. I think here. So
you're on the right side. Now the Trump administration might go after Judge Cable, for being a woke.
They will never find me, for they don't know what my hair really looks like. So
that's true. That's true. People don't realize that facial recognition is really about the hair.
It's all this area right here.
That's what it is.
That's why I wear this. That's why I wear this, and also just it's great Bluetooth. So
indeed. But really, Judge Cable, thank you for solving not just our problems and Kingsport's problems and everybody's problems, but I'm assuming you also called in tonight with business
I'm
of your
finishing
own.
my Easter candy right now as well.
No,
Sorry.
please.
Can you? What do we got? What show food?
Well, I don't want to get you in trouble with product placement.
No, food. That's how we get sponsors.
Star Wars jelly beans.
Starburst.
Sorry, not Star Wars.
Hold on.
No Star Wars jelly beans. I'm sorry. I stuck an ice pick in my eye like a couple of years ago and just did this, and I fucking love a Smoka. It's great.
So what would a Star Wars jelly bean be? Like what do we think? What would be like? How
like a Ronto flavor or like a Milu Run flavor? That would probably be one.
It would be more that, yeah.
Yeah, like whatever the Star Wars fruits
Run,
are. A Jogan jelly bean. Yeah.
Jogan.
Yeah.
Potato. Let's call the whole thing off.
Right. For sure. So, Jerry, what do you got for us tonight, Jerry? What troubles you?
I'm just such an important and handsome guy. I just thought y'all would ask me something. So,
do you want to spin the wheel? We have 3 things left on the wheel.
I put it in. You asked me what to put in. I put in. Ask me anything. That's my thing. The thing is, ask me any AMA.
All right.
AMA.
Okay. Well,
ask the judge. Ask a judge anything except for how to end racism. Because frankly, I wish I could.
You dodged the shit out of that question, my friend, and you did a great job. I'll give you that.
Thank you. I was gonna say,
Jerry. Jerry, I have a question
white
for you.
People don't really know how to do. It's how to end racism. So
I have a question for you, and they've written songs about this, and so far no answer has been provided. But I'm just curious, Jerry Cable, do you believe in life after love?
Damn it, Alden! I need to know these jokes ahead of time so I can get soundboards ready.
I don't know, man. I don't really think it's strong enough.
No. All right, that makes sense.
No. That's
Jerry, let's spin the wheel.
Lyric later on, isn't it? Right.
Let's spin the wheels. Let's spin the fucking wheel, Jerry. All right.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
There's only 3 things left.
These topics?
There's only 3 topics left. Jerry, it's 11:37. We started at 9:05.
Let's go, Belichick. Woo! We got better back then.
Back then.
For an old person like me, this is a
tap
great
into your
comment.
tap into those conservative feelings somewhere in your loins, Jerry. What was better back then?
What was better back then? And then is ambiguous.
Then is ambiguous. What was better back then? We already talked about it. Social media.
I don't know how to go back to that one, Alden. You can
taking your like profile picture was like you did a photo shoot. You know, you didn't take a selfie. You had a friend with a digital camera, and you went awkwardly around your college campus and leaned up against sewer grates. It was great. It was a great time. It was a great time. It was a great time back then. Something that was also really good back then, Saturday morning cartoons. Where are the Saturday morning cartoons anymore? You know? I mean, come on. Oh, hooking up in movie theaters? That's true.
And he's totally right, because now it's weird. It is. It's weird now. But
with the science
I did some horrible things in
especially.
movie theater as a middle and high
Science
school.
eating, it's harder to get it done.
That's a great dude. Is that it? Is that what killed third base in movie theaters? Was the science eating? Yeah.
No, because
It
I
might
guess
have
like
been.
if you're like, oh, we're gonna get a little handsy during this film,
Just go up in the back.
It's within your power though to reserve seats in the last row.
And I guess you could see like if anyone's
Just
bought
reserve
something
the
like
whole
nearby
row.
you. But
What
like,
it's done, I guess, is get rid of the spontaneity.
Okay, hold on now. Hold on, boys. Hold on. Because now you're right. Because we can reserve how many. Okay, let's say you're 17, 18, and you can reserve seats for the movie you're going to. You're going to. For me, back in the day, it was Monsters Ball with Jane Fonda and Jennifer Lopez. But if you could reserve a seat at a rom-com, and you could buy out like 3 or 4 seats on either side of you, because this young lady or boy, depending on which, you can play for either team. We're all good here. How many seats are you willing to buy out if you really think you're going to make it all the way to hit a triple? This is Blathering After Dark. These are the kind of questions we ask.
Yeah,
are you going to 2, 3, 4? How many seats are you buying out? How much space do you need?
You need to buy at least 2 spaces.
The fact that this is even a question.
So at least 2. So you're saying Jerry, you're saying at least 2 seats on either side.
Like 2, like between you. I mean, like if you're going to, and that is like still, that's pretty close. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just like, I don't know. And if you're at an AMC, you got to buy out like 2 damn love seats. Okay, you got to buy 2 of those damn couches, depending on which one you're at. Scotty. Oh wow. Okay, I think Scotty is given like his Red Shoe Diaries of finger blasting people in the movie theater here. Look at this. We got finger blasting during Karate Kid 2011. Jesus, I think I cleaned up after that one.
I love the whenever any joke can be taken to the next level by putting the year of the film in parentheses. Something about that just sends it into the stratosphere for me.
Oh, for sure. No, like I said, my best was Monsters Ball, and I think that was 2000.
Monsters Ball.
2006, or that was my first. That was my first one. First movie theater experience that was not PG rated.
Jerry, what is your answer?
Please.
Forgetting Scotty's answer. So yours is social media, right? Your answer was social
media.
Yeah.
My answer was social media, but like just yeah. What do you say?
But I'm saying, is there anything about that that you specifically want to bring back, or that you wish we could revert back to?
I mean, there's no way. Honestly, the ancient mythical god is out of the bag, and there's no way to get him back in. I don't think there's. We are in a. I don't know. You were talking about the simplicity of it and everything, and just truly just the, hey, I just want to go in here and make a cool thing, make a cool song, and like, hey, everyone, listen. I'm a millennial too. We used to just talk in song lyrics on Facebook. That's all we used to do.
Oh, yeah.
Just write
We
lines.
were so moody.
I still occasionally will do it sometimes, just accidentally. It's just how I process emotions, because it's how I was taught. So yeah, but no, not. I don't know. I don't know if I go to that, because there's a lot of honest conversation happening, but there's also a lot of deception and a lot of very not great things on there these days. So
bold, Steve.
Yeah.
What is your thing that was better than?
Thank you.
What was better back then? Honestly, TV schedules and like the TV discourse. I am not a fan of let's drop 12 episodes at one time. I am a fan. Like, shoot me if you want. I like weekly episodes because I'm a sucker for let's do the weekly discourse. Let's talk. That's why I love how House of the Dragon still does weekly episodes. Rings of Power still does weekly episodes. Doing me right. Andor's fine. 3 episodes at a time. Well, I have thoughts on 3 episodes at a time. That's kind of a pain in the ass, but not everything at once, right? I love give me the drama every week, right? That's what, again, we can bring it back to sports. I love how the NFL season is a story that takes place over 17 weeks in the regular season, stuff like that. I don't like, because when you drop everything at once, the discussion really only lasts like a week or so, right? Like, we don't get to chase the dragon that long, right? Like, we snort it hard and fast, and it's great for a little bit, and then a week and a half later, 10 days later, the discourse is over and we're on to the next thing because we have to keep feeding the beast. So I like the weekly drip. That's what I feel like. And 20 years ago, before you had Netflix, before you had any streaming thing, that was the only choice you had, right? Sopranos, OG Game of Thrones, all this kind of stuff. Like, everything was a weekly cadence, right? All the way back to network television. And it really wasn't until streaming stuff that we got the mass dumps of stuff where we just download everything in our brain instantly. I like the weekly cadence. Let's talk about stuff. White Lotus right now. Dude, White Lotus would not be nearly as fun if we watched it all at once, right? Like, White Lotus is one of those shows where it's fun because we get to talk about all the shit that's going on week to week. I don't know if either of you guys are into that, but like that kind of stuff, right? It's just, or even, right? Like, even though we're getting 3 chunks, we're getting arcs per week. We need that week to like digest and like drink that in and like, talk about each one because they're kind of their own like little stories. If that was all dumped at once, shit, it started like 2-3 weeks ago, we'd be done with it already. So I love that. I love taking, I like enjoying my food.
I feel that. I like it. My answer was going to be less probably well thought out than those. But mine is simply mine is this.
You thought that was well thought out?
Our phones. Our phones used to be better. It's not that this isn't a great piece of technology. It is. It's not that these are, not advantageous in a lot of ways. I'm not gonna say this is a blanket statement, but like a great example is how Apple Photos. What the fuck are they doing? Like, I feel like we had it. Like, I don't need not even to get into the AI conversation because obviously that's just shit, left, right, and sideways. But like this whole you have to scroll. Look, you got your gallery, right? You have to scroll this much just to get to your albums. They're all you have to get through trips, memories, pinned collections, recent days, people and pets, all that. I don't want any of it. It should just be your gallery and your fucking albums. It was really, really easy for the longest time. And it is people justifying their jobs by over-designing. You remember the Xbox 360 interface that was the blades?
Oh my gosh! Yeah,
perfect. Yes. And then they changed it and they added the avatar, and that wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. Now you
they had to compete and be like the Switch and stuff, right? Or like
PlayStation. You boot up a console now or a smart TV, and because it has to be everything, it can't be good at being anything. We turn on our TV and it automatically turns on my PS5. I didn't ask for that. Who the fuck asked you to turn things on? So maybe this is what I'm saying more so is maybe my broader point is devices are doing too much. They're doing too much. And you know what? I'm not gonna say we didn't ask for it. Because I guess I was who asked for this? I guess we kind of did. Because watching Spy Kids 2 and 3, I wanted that watch. I wanted those sunglasses. But I didn't realize that when we got those things, they were going to suck ass.
Right.
I thought they would be cool, OSS quality, international espionage with a cool green screen. Flipping out.
You wanted 100 glasses.
Yeah, I thought Carla.
I was watching that Google Glass commercial, thinking that was it, man. Like when we saw that Google Glass YouTube video, that was you put the glasses on, and you see all your text messages and your Google Maps shit lighting up on your glasses. I was like, oh, this is it. We've arrived. This is it. That's and great. Then that flopped hard as shit. What are you gonna do?
Just saying, until you walk out in front of a bus, then you're that's so hot.
Oh yeah,
Thanks.
because the glass is I was like, what do we,
Glasses, yeah,
Jerry? I was
sorry.
like, do we need to talk?
Sorry.
I was like, are you okay? Like, what?
Do I look okay to you? I think I'm fine. I think
No,
I'm
you
fine.
look great. Are you kidding me? That's the hair is amazing. I love it.
I know. Thank you. Yeah, I know. Well, saw my stylist today. So
Yeah, no, it's a good cut.
Yeah,
It's
we're
a good
good.
cut.
We're good. Yeah, we got a light fluff in there. So
It's a nice.
But- yeah. Just
It's
a little
Conditioner's
volume.
a bitch,
Just a little
isn't it?
volume.
You know, like
Yeah,
these
yeah,
days
yeah,
between
yeah,
the prices
exactly,
of shampoo
exactly.
and conditioner.
It's the best. It's the best. So yeah, no, listen, you guys run a great ship here. Okay.
Thank you.
This is a great show.
That means
You guys
a lot.
have done fantastic tonight.
That means a lot.
That's my ruling on
Thank
this.
you. Wow. Okay,
Doing
that
that.
gives me. I can rest easy now, knowing that
I know.
we've
I
gotten
know.
the seal of
No.
approval.
You know what? It's okay. It's what I do. That's what I'm here for. And yeah, no, I don't know. Like, listen, I appreciate you boys. I appreciate you having me.
We appreciate you. We appreciate everyone who's here. The fact that we've been on for Alden, it's 11:48, dog. Like we've been here
That's
for
true.
almost 3 hours. I
That's true.
almost feel bad for keeping you this long.
No, we're gonna be out of here soon.
Yeah, we are.
Why don't
We're
we?
wrapping up here soon.
So we'll
I've
say bye to
almost-
Jerry. Jerry, we're gonna make sure you don't
almost
get
out of
here. Me out of here?
disbarred or debenched or de-wigged or whatever the fuck they
Disbarred.
do to you. guys.
No, yeah, no, I gotta go.
Look at who's
throw
the-
some rotten fruit off of my balcony at some surfs. Here.
Look at our attorney general. No one's getting disbarred.
That's true.
That's
That's true.
Jerry can get whatever. Jerry actually is a really good person to have in our corner here because we could actually get away with Alden. We get away with some shit. If if the world was going to hell, Alden, we might as well take advantage of the shitty circumstances and use a judiciary like Jerry in our corner to get away with some stuff. That's how I feel. The ship's sinking, Alden. Let's just go down with it.
I'll see.
You know what?
I'll
respect
I'll
that.
crack open my law.
I didn't mean to
Alright.
put you on a moral spot. I'm sorry.
Jerry, get to bed because tomorrow is Pope Leo's first address. I know you're gonna be watching.
Yes, of
So
course.
it's his first Sunday service and everything.
Yep.
We love you, pal. We'll see you.
Jerry, thank you so much. Jerry,
Bye.
thank you. Thank you. Alden.
All right. So I was gonna say let's do the last two wheel topics and then leave, but then somebody joined. So we have our last caller.
I see that. Well, and we also had. I feel really bad because we had Scotty Jero in here earlier, and he was in
He's
a car,
driving.
and I was going to
He's
say,
driving.
like, dude, please don't die. Like,
No,
I'm
I'm not
honored
gonna
the fact
be-
that he was even in here.
I'm not gonna
don't
be an
get me wrong.
accessory to whatever happens there.
Exactly. Well, that's. I
needs
didn't
to
want to say that part.
He needs to
Alden,
get home
but
to his
I-
wife,
Right. That's good. Hey, my wife's
the
asleep upstairs.
beautiful Katie. All right. So the
All right,
man, the
please,
myth,
keep
the
driving.
legend
Go
is
ahead.
here. We have a Ken. We have a
have a-
Ken.
You have a Ken. Hey, Alden. He's not our Ken. He's not your Ken. He's not my Ken. He's not even Step Ken. He's the Ken that stepped up.
He's the Ken that stepped up. It is fresh off of watching us descend into madness. Ken Plume is here. Ken Plume.
I'm the Ken that's here.
But we have
Alpha's
a
here.
special. You have a special
Alf.
view here. We're looking at what now.
I think that's Alf.
Now this section of your collection, I'm seeing drummer Astromech. I'm seeing Alf. So I'm gonna assume this is the party people
Is
section.
that Sebulba over on the right?
It's the Bulba.
That is Sebulba
Is that Gwen up there?
sitting
Is that a
on my
Gwen?
desk. That is a Spider Gwen. Yes.
Love it.
Love that. So Plume, what is there a rhyme or reason to these guys and gals all being together?
No,
On
this
this-
happens to be on the desk right now.
Okay, I love that.
As I'm trying to work this evening, and you two have provided a constant distraction
Oh well.
in a good way, mostly. But this feels like a bit of an intervention. I just wanted to check in on you two.
Thank you.
You've done well. This is inaugural sort of outing for you two.
This is my first time doing this, Plume. Yeah.
You're sort of slow jazz backstage.
Thank you.
You got
Is
a
it
nice
too loud?
groove going on. It is slightly overpowering. I will say
so
that.
someone, you should have said that in the damn chat. Like, what?
No
are you
one will
doing?
tell you about
supposed to be a-
sound.
You're
in-
supposed to be a
in
good
anything
ally about
related.
those things. Yeah, but you're like on the inside. You're
No,
supposed
no,
to
no.
know
Here's
these
the
things.
thing.
Cal, I am not drunk. I'm
You
buzzed. I'm not
two
drunk.
are
Don't
finding
you
your
dare.
way, and I'm not going to try and guide you in that.
Hold on.
I appreciate
Alden has found his way. Alden is a seasoned pro. He has been doing this for
Alden
a
is
long,
not
a
even
very long
looking
time.
at camera right now. He is communicating with somebody.
Well, no, I was actually.
This
I
is
was.
backstage.
I'll have you
channel.
guys
He's
know.
allowed to do
I was
that.
doing show work.
Right.
I took Plume's. I posted a new promo tweet for this show that says, "quote a constant distraction." Ken Plume. I'm using Ken as a first pull quote.
Hey, fine. I showed up. Fair use.
So Ken, I know you're working. I'm not going to ask you what you're working on because I know there's things you can talk about, things you can't, just in media in general. But what is the vibe? What do you have for us? And is there something that you would like to specifically show up? Because show and tell was on the wheel, so we could always just do that.
Or we talk about Bill Belichick
in this very, very tiny frame in which this camera is set up right now. What can I slide into frame? Is what you're saying?
Like what's within arm's reach that you think is awesome? Oh my goodness! If it isn't our dear leader,
somehow
with his breakfast waffle,
with a breakfast waffle. Wow.
Now, do you assume that is Palpatine's like go-to, like when he's on the road, he's got to pick up a waffle?
with that? Oh, he does continental breakfast. You know he does.
What kind of syrup do you think Palpatine uses? Do you think he's like just a regular maple?
No
guy?
syrup, incredibly dry.
No syrup. He raw dogs the waffles.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, you have to maintain that hate.
God,
so what are you gonna do? You're gonna enjoy your waffle?
Allow himself to have the extra. That's a great point.
Or it'll be like the light syrup. That's almost water. This is gonna be the water syrup.
Oh,
This is why you're the babysitter. This is why you were here checking in on us, making sure everything was okay. You know, like we needed an adult kind of in the background to make sure.
Look at this.
Crazy. Oh, what is
look
this?
At this. That's Papa Noida. I believe it's Papa Noida. It is, right?
It is.
That's one George Walton
Baron?
Lucas.
Wow.
In Blueface, doing his thing. I love the fact that a Papa Noida figure exists. We are no longer in the era where we can enjoy characters of that tier.
We had a whole Lucas family box set of figures that came out.
It's really late to get you going on this, Ken Plume, so you don't have to do a full rant, but like, you know, sometimes I will go to what used to be Jedi Business, I think is now Galactic Figures. And
I think they're two different sites.
They're two different sites? Okay.
Yeah.
One of them changed.
One of them I think is slightly problematic. But go on.
Oh, well, we'll figure that out. But I will go to
there's one thing I know you're capable of all this. Figure out which one is the problematic one.
We'll find out who I'm no longer using. But I will sometimes go in there and I will open up the 30th anniversary collection figure and I'll just scroll like I'm looking at a black and white photo of my wife at home and I'm in the trenches. And like, I know we'll never reach that height again of the depth of who they're willing to give a toy to, but
it was a golden age.
It was a golden age. I'm wondering, do you see in your expertise? I'm not asking for that, but do you see any type of upswing coming? Like, will we ever get to?
What is your definition of? I mean, the toy business is completely different than it was then. You don't.
Yeah, and again, I don't expect that, but like,
meaning you're not going to have a depth of backbenchers in the quantity and the speed that those were released.
I guess what I mean is like the difference between 2015 and 2019 is already a dramatic step. And it's like,
yeah, but the quality of figures themselves are exceptional.
Is up for sure. I mean, even
you have brilliant sculpts, you have the face printing technology. Yeah,
they look amazing.
Articulation.
I guess maybe I'm just salty that there's.
Listen, I have a little tiny Ben Mendelsohn,
and he's great. And he's wonderful.
Oh, he looks.
But then I think about the fact that there's no, and the easy one is Ben Solo. Forget Ben Solo. But like, there's no Master Leia. There's no Jedi Leia. There is no General Lando. There's no General Dameron or General Finn.
But
there's
that's because
so many in the
Rise
TV
of Skywalker fell into this very weird period when all of the lines suddenly hit this COVID wall. And so production was so weird at that point. And so many things got derailed. And by the time things got back on track, I feel that they felt that their window of release that made those figures current to that film had passed.
That's fair.
And the thing when you're dealing with original trilogy is that you had a depth of nostalgia that will feed sales on those and make the calculus on a business standpoint, not a fan standpoint, of like, oh, what is the characters and figures we should be concentrating on at this point to actually move sales? It's a harder thing to do when you've got, oh, this is the film that just came out, but we were dead in the water for a year because of COVID. Come back 10 years when you're celebrating anniversaries of Rise of Skywalker, there will be, I'm sure, massive waves.
And I also think, not even think, but in addition to that, historically, it's important to note that 2019, they also attempted to do a lot of wave combining because they were excited about having 3 projects at once. So it's like that wave is a Mando wave, a Rise wave, and a Fallen Order wave. And I feel like in servicing all of them,
how much they had released for Solo,
which was surprisingly more than I thought they would. So that's fair.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And they had just come off of getting rid of 5 POA and going to vintage collection. So full articulation rather than more static figures. But that also meant it's an acknowledgement that they're cutting out the casual fans and kids on these figures. This has become a collectible line. It's not a toy line. And that's the problem that I think is facing these toys going forward, is that you're not getting mass market. You're not introducing new generations to these toys, because that figure that you're looking at right now is a $17 SRP.
Mm-hmm.
That's not accessible for a figure you're just going to buy for a kid to play with.
Right. What do
and
you
also,
think?
It's got little fiddly bits, so that is also not a kid.
Where
toy.
do you see it going in the next 5-ish years? What do you think happens? Not just for Star Wars, but just in general.
I mean, the problem is that are we divorcing it from what's going on right now, which is further complicating what is going to happen with?
I guess in
general
baseline.
If none of that were a factor right now, where things are going,
yeah,
I think there's always going to be toys. There's always going to be something. I don't know if they're going to progress beyond the age of 5, 6, 7, when kids have been transitioning over to digital to play with. They're on their pads, they're on phones, they're on whatever, they're on their devices. But up until that age, you're not handing a $500 phone to a 2-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Well, depending on the parent, but you're generally not.
Sure.
So I think it's just where that's going to go. I think the stranglehold that Gen X has had on pop culture, I think that's the transition point as that generation dies off, because we have held tight to all of these franchises and IPs and the idea of toys. That's why I have a $17 Krennic figure that is quote unquote a toy. And it's not some kid having a 5 POA Krennic figure that they can throw off a tower.
Yeah.
Is that
gone are the days of Krennic getting attached to a fucking firecracker,
and
Toy Story
don't
style.
Get into, I mean, you think the discussions about the shows are bad when it comes to the possessiveness. Don't get into toy conversations where they're like, well, how can they release this 5 POA figure when they should be devoting all this to the TVC line? It's like, because that's where the kids, if you want a future for this or just want to share, you selfish bastards, let the kids have toys.
Yeah,
stop thinking that it's taken away from you, or just enjoy the things you have.
During the COVID lockdown, I bought the entire Galaxy of Adventures line because I love those shorts so much. And that I had for a brief moment, maybe it was being locked up, but for a brief moment, I was like, these are awesome. You could smash them. Like this, I was like,
and then they knock on the door. Are you done in the bath?
In his room.
They made the tread speeder from Pisana in that line that came with a trooper who was locked in the riding position, and that's the type of shit that we've lost. We lost the Rey and Finn. They had leg squeeze action.
We didn't lose it. The kids lost it.
That's true. We lost the recipes, and they're paying for it.
Yeah,
that's
the problem is we ate the recipes and said you can't have the recipes.
They were like, "Oh, can I have one of those?" And we screamed and said no.
Yeah. We stuffed our face with all the cookies on the plate and went, "No, mine."
Yeah, we're kind of
I don't know where you go with it today. I mean, it's the protectionary feeling that the generation has towards it, and I worry, that the millennials have it the same way.
Yeah.
And then every other generation, I think, is resentful of that. So I'm wondering, once that stranglehold, through natural attrition,
Sure.
starts to loose on these things, if there's going to be a turn away from these IPs. It's like, no, I'm sick and tired of the stuff that, I don't want to know about your centaurs. I don't want to know about your Inhumanoids. I don't want to know about Captain Planet. I don't want to know about all these things I've never experienced, except because you keep putting it in front of us.
And I think that, this is a different conversation because it's film and not toys, but just talking about IP in general, I think Minecraft will go down as an interesting moment culturally as an indicator, because when the teaser trailer for Minecraft came out, or the first pictures of Jack Black and Jason Momoa, everybody called that it was going to be a bomb. Everyone called that it was going to suck. Everyone called that everyone was going to hate it. And all of that has been disproven. I haven't seen it, so I can't speak to my own personal opinion of the story, but it's been a smash. It's been a cultural moment. It's been a huge thing. And I think that is the next generation saying, it's our IP now. It's our
the equivalent of all of those people who were decrying that were the same people who were decrying it about Star Wars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In 77. Or even Jaws before that.
Yeah.
Blockbuster? What is this Blockbuster that's destroying this independent film scene that we have going on?
For sure. I mean, that's the George wearing the bad review on his shirt.
I mean, I forgot that this is the 50th anniversary of Jaws. Jaws was 75. So this is the 50th anniversary year of Jaws.
Jaws is going to, they're doing an exhibit soon at the Academy Museum. We're about to see, hopefully, I don't know if it's even worth remastering. I don't know if you can remaster it more than it's already been mastered, but I'm sure we'll get to see some stuff. But
I don't know what, listen, if Cal wants you to spin the damn wheel, I don't care.
Cal got a wheel spin. You picked your topic by opening us up here with toys.
Yeah, you did is the selection basically. Yeah, so there's only one thing left on the wheel.
The last thing on the wheel is Bill Belichick. So, Plume, do you have a thought on Bill Belichick before we do it?
Do you have Bill? Yeah, Ken Plume. Do you have a thought on Bill Belichick and his smoking hot 24-year-old girlfriend who is causing a media
perhaps?
I love an awkward interview that gets a lot more traction than it ever should have because they made it awkward.
Yeah,
right.
And divorced from whatever the discussion is around the questions and the unanswered questions.
Yeah,
they Streisand themselves on that.
For sure. Yeah. So imagine. Okay, so here's the thing, right? So Bill Belichick is like in his 70s. His son works for him on the UNC football staff. He is significantly older than Bill Belichick's current partner. You're Stephen Belichick, who is his son. How weird is that? Stevie. Like, imagine you're the kid working for your dad, and your dad is dating.
Now you're saying
who is basically a student at the school, who could basically pass for being a student at the school,
and you could pass for being one of her professors.
Right. Oh, for sure. Yeah. At least.
Because by kid, you're going, he's what? Right. Mid 40s?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah. Stephen Belichick. Yeah. Probably. At least. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not kid. This is very mature adult as well.
Yep.
It's funny because, again, I'm not one to be like super all gossip on like people's relationships and stuff. I get that. But this has just been an interesting story because it has taken the sports world by storm and has dipped into the kind of the entertainment pop culture sphere, because this is weird. I mean, Bill Belichick is like the greatest football coach in the history of pro football. He is the most accomplished coach in the history of pro football.
But he's also an asshole, right?
He is also known to be an asshole and not fun in front of microphones. And
or
he's
just
dating
as a person.
And he's for some reason dating a 24-year-old, or whatever reason. I mean, he's red-blooded American. He can do whatever he wants. He's dating a 24-year-old.
I would put that as a qualifier on things anymore.
He's dating a 24-year-old influencer, as they say, and it's just been like this huge media thing. And there were reports that they got banned from she got banned from like UNC's like football practice, and they got refuted and all that kind of stuff. UNC was gonna be on Hard Knocks this year, which for sports fans is a big deal. Watching Hard Knocks in the summer is like kind of how we get our football fix in the summer. And then that got taken away.
Please explain Hard Knocks to me.
Yeah, sure.
It sounds like it's like a sitcom on CBS at 9:00 on Thursday.
You're not wrong. So Hard Knocks is the behind the music version of training camp for the NFL teams as they get ready for the season. So there's about a month and a half or so of like practices and preseason games where the NFL teams get ready for the season, and so the rosters get basically cut in half, and every week different people get cut. And so think of it like Survivor meets the Real Housewives, but throw in football. That is.
And when did this start? Is this a recent?
Oh no, the Hard Knocks has been around for probably almost 20 years now. On HBO, it's been a thing. They do a season every year, and so but recently they've been again because one thing isn't enough. They've increased it.
But when you say 20 years,
yeah,
putting that in context, so that was at the height of reality show fever of what we can turn into a reality show.
Oh yeah.
So while 20 years, yes, is a long time, that was the television developmental age that we're talking about that this was spawned out of.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. And this was a big hit on HBO
as filler. This was hey, what can we throw in front of a camera and make a show out of?
Oh yeah. Sure. It's because it's cheap. You're not necessarily hiring writers and stuff to do a lot of stuff. It's just, hey, let's get camera crews,
and the drama makes
set barriers and guardrails, and let's film what we're gonna do, and then edit a bunch of shit, and boom, you've got a story.
Yeah.
So yeah,
before YouTube came along.
Right. And we just sit here and blather.
It's got a spot on HBO.
Right. But yeah, no, anyways, so that's kind of like a sweaty sports story. So I threw
But again, it is the Streisand effect because the list of men with the same age gaps, rich guys in different fields, sports, acting, whatever, is extremely long and nobody gives a fuck. Robert De Niro has the same, if not bigger, gap with his current wife and the mother of his child. He's one of the oldest fathers currently on record. No one gives a shit because De Niro's wife is not interrupting Screen Actors Guild interviews or whatever with this weirdo, like, who's the victim? Is she the victim? Is he the victim? Like, there's this, like, they did it to themselves, and now they have the audacity to be like surprised about it. That's what's weird.
Mermaid picture. Do you know what I'm talking about when I say the mermaid picture, Alden? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't think.
Okay, it's okay to say no. So this is how weird and out in the open this is, right?
No.
Because she's like, an Instagram influencer and everything. They took a picture on the beach where he has like a bucket hat and like, like fisherman clothes.
Hold on, I'm moving Bill Belichick into.
And she was literally dressed as a mermaid. Like she had a mermaid tail and everything, and he had his fishing rod and he had like a big dumb grin on his face, like, oh, look at me, I caught a mermaid. And that was like their stepping out picture. That was like their announcement to the world of like, hey, look at us, we're like a thing
under the sea.
Yes. And so that's where this whole thing started. So I know this is like lowbrow, like icky kind of stuff to talk about. Don't get me wrong, I get it. But this is, Blathering Backstage. We're
talking about rich MAGA people doing stupid shit. Like they bring it on themselves. Like to be talking about. Like,
you're not wrong. We can throw that there on the end.
So the fact that Belichick was immediately belligerent about the line of questioning about their sweet romantic love story and the elder love that he found.
Ken, let's put this on the front end. Love is love. I'm not saying they shouldn't or can't be together. Any of that kind of stuff.
This is wholly isolated.
We're making fun of the media circus of it all. Let me just be clear about that.
I'm personalizing it to we're only discussing the choices that these two have made, and specifically he made in that interview. And it does not apply to anybody else in the context of this conversation. It is just establishing that he's an asshole, and he that was a common thread, if I'm understanding correctly, from his entire history, and it continues to play out into his twilight years. As at one point, he will be gone, as we all will. And this is how he chooses to spend the last years of his life, continuing to be an asshole.
And it's also just like
good job, awards.
It's also just has like the professional sort of like element to it too. Of you've been doing this for how long, Bill? And like you're fucking surprised that they asked you a question, like, and you're gonna like, I don't expect her to have as much media experience because maybe she's newer to it, whatever. But like, how are you not aware of the fact that being like, we're not answering that on camera is not going to get used? Like you gotta know.
Hold on, I'm
Like,
swapping out Belichick's.
it's-
Oh yeah. Okay. Oh
There you
yeah.
go.
Excellent. Yeah.
yeah,
that's
this is
perfect.
definitely this is
good.
him.
good.
Yeah, contacting his team.
Hold on. Here's the interview.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's just the yeah, exactly. God, I wish there was is there a zero figure? I wish there was.
Oh, that's not nice.
To have the show The Greatest Romance in Star Wars, zero inside.
Sadly not.
Ended in tragedy. But yeah, thank you, Plume. I appreciate it. We just cracked 3 hours, 8 minutes. I think we're
Hey, you look like you're feeling it. So this is
well,
good.
just in general, I think I've just now started to break the jet lag. I did not expect it to last that long.
So you're finally back on home time?
I did. Yeah, I did like Orlando, Japan back to Orlando, LA back to Orlando. And now I'm kind of sort of finding the equilibrium again.
Are you though? Well, that means you need to go on another trip.
I hope. You're East Coast, right, Ken?
I am.
Okay.
I'm far closer to you than the other Ken is.
That's true. Well, I carry the other Ken with me in my soul.
Yeah.
That's
adorable.
how we make up for that. We make up for that cross country distance. I carry him with me like the hopes and dreams of Krypton.
Like an ulcer.
Except yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I carry him. There's no cure either.
Just they are gnawing away at your gut. You feel them. You feel that twinge. You're like, oh, I went too far. I shouldn't have had that.
When his back hurts, my back hurts. It's like a Dorian Gray type situation.
It's only going to get worse.
Yeah.
It's only going to get worse.
Oh, yeah.
But this is good. You got congratulations on what you two have done.
Congrats to Steve.
You broke the seal. You set the precedent. Steve's not going to remember any of this. He's like, he said 4 drinks in for the past hour and a half, and he's continuing.
Ken, you weren't supposed. Damn it, you weren't supposed to notice
sure.
that part, you bastard.
4.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
so exactly. This right here actually sums it up. Like the hopes and dreams of Krypton, like an ulcer.
Yeah,
varying reviews.
Listen, you did good, Alden.
Thank you.
You're gonna have to Fortnite soon.
Yes, dude. Seriously, you're gonna get your ass into Fortnite.
You're gonna miss out on the Star Wars season. You're waiting.
Yeah, really. You need to get in now. It's all Star Wars.
I've been watching people like crash their TIE fighters and shit, and it is very funny.
Okay, even Plume would tell you I'm a badass in the TIE fighter. Like I'll
go with half of that.
Whoa, you deliver?
Come on. Yeah, I deliver in the TIE fighter.
And by the way, splitting that in half doesn't work either way. You're either bad or you're ass.
No, I kick ass in the TIE fighter. No,
I know what I said.
When you get in, you'll see how different strategies work in Fortnite when we get in there, and you will. It's okay.
I know how this is going to go, so I'm just going to leave it with this. I'm going to leave it with getting a firm commitment from you, Alden.
Okay.
It's not going to be just sort of, it's just off in this vague sort of ether of, yeah, we'll do it. Yeah.
Okay.
You tell me when, and we will squad up. At the very least, get you your Star Wars pass so you can get the stuff before it's gone. Because you're gonna hate yourself if you get into it later, and then you're just like, oh, I could have had Dark Jar Jar.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
This will be the last thing that I say about it, and I'm glad that you're here for it. There's a promo art that they put out for the season that is like whatever Jedi, some generic looking Jedi, and then they had like, you know, Palpatine and Darth Jar Jar and like Han or whatever, and then Sabrina Carpenter, and it's so funny that she's the only non-Star Wars entity that they included.
I've been killed by Sabrina Carpenter more than anyone else in the past 2 weeks.
And listen, you know who's coming to the game, because they always tease who they're bringing to the pass.
Yeah.
By what music is released.
Yeah, it's my girl. Dua Lipa's coming.
How can you not?
I'm gonna have to be there.
Playing it.
I'm gonna have to be there. That's true.
So get it on your system. You have plays a PS5, right?
Oh, the PS5. Yep.
Is it installed on there yet? Have you downloaded it?
It's free download. I haven't downloaded it yet, but it's a free download.
So when this is done, producer Steve is going to step you through getting it on your system.
Mm-hmm.
Steve, I'm asking you. This is the one. 17 and a half beers in. I'm asking you.
17.
Take care of this.
I didn't even buy that many beers, but yeah, okay.
No.
Okay, so you have been counting, and it's more than 4.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
I have to pee again. That's how bad it is.
Listen, Godspeed.
We're rapping.
Godspeed.
Right.
You did good. I've already texted Ken to let him know it's all fun.
Oh, good. Thank you. So I hope Uncle isn't too upset with us.
He's very upset.
He's gonna break out of your basement and tell you what he really feels. But
well, no, I'll check the camera here in a minute when Ken is gone. But I think he's gotten through most of the movie trivia production torture.
He's on a human-sized hamster food dispenser.
If you feel that twinge in your gut, that's Ken telling you.
Well, no, I got a bunch of like DoorDashed Wood Ranch for him or whatever the fuck that place is that he likes. That he talks about so much. So it's just sitting like on a drip for him, but it's all like blended together. So if he really likes it,
it's good that you got it while he wasn't there. So it's just sitting on the porch.
Right. Exactly.
That was a real blathering backstage move. Later, guys.
Bye. Thank you so much. You're the best, dude. Appreciate it. Alden, Cal popped back in for a reason. We can't just. I mean, do you?
But what's the reason? Because Cal's been throwing a tantrum in the comments this entire time.
Cal, we can't go out like this for Cal. And the other thing is I really, 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 really have to pee again. So can we just bring Cal on so I can pee and then we'll wrap?
Sure.
And I'll be
but Cal, I'll mute you if you throw a tantrum.
That's fair. And then you can vamp for a second. I promise I'll be back. As long as I can get stage fright, I'll be back in like less than a minute.
Do your thing.
I sometimes get stage fright when I'm under pressure, so I hope I'm not too long. But I'll be back. Here's Pooch.
Pooch Cam. Oh, he didn't bring Cal in. Cal, what do you want, Cal?
Nothing. I wanted to tell Steve every time I get on here, Stephen Lee. I wanted to tell Steve that he's a cool dude and y'all did a good job. And why am I? Oh, I forgot. I had to throw my cam on. Anyway, I wanted to tell Steve that he's a cool dude and y'all did a good job. That's all I wanted to say. Until you cut me off to bring in some dude with a wig on. Anyway.
It was a bit, Cal. We're doing a show.
Yeah, and you anyway, I'm not gonna throw a tantrum even though I feel like I should. But it was nice to see you and Ken's y'all little video, that little live video y'all put up.
That was funny. Ken was feeling he was feeling a couple beverages and he decided to go on Instagram. Very proud of him for putting himself out there because he doesn't like Instagram, but he did do it.
Well, I didn't expect it to be so long, so I didn't watch the whole thing because I was at work. But I did see it when y'all went on.
No, it was fine. We were on our way to grab tacos.
Oh yeah. What happened with that, man? With the taco thing? What the?
They were great. No, the place rocks.
Well, no, you got one taco.
Because you can't. Because ethically, if someone says they're gonna pay, you don't start adding items to the till. That's a dick move. You don't do that.
Care about it. Well, yeah.
You don't start just throwing items on. I wouldn't do that to anybody here except maybe Jerry. But I'm just looking at the
so how is your feelings now that you've had some time?
About LA?
No, yes. Now about moving there. How's your feeling?
I feel the same in general. But again, it's a research thing. Because it's like you can't go to New York and make all your opinion on, on just one of the boroughs, right? So it's like you got to go see more. We're going to see more as we go for sure.
Now, here's the thing, though. The thing about it's very costly, and to me, it sounds like you just want to go there so you can see all the places that you had ever seen before. You always want to see. I want to see where Jaws is at, what have you. But do you take in account the cost of living in that area?
Oh, of course. No, it's insane. It's insane. I mean, like, I'm not going to throw anyone's business out there, but like, I know what Ken pays in rent. I know what a few other people pay in rent, and it's fucking bullshit. Hell no, would I want to deal with that? It's insane,
dude. I live in Northern Virginia. You don't have to tell me fucking twice. It's ridiculous.
It's bad. It's bad.
Fuck yeah, it's bad, dude. It's like living in San Francisco. This is like one of the top 5 most expensive places to live outside of DC. Yeah, it's like it's fucking ridiculous, man. I'm just so happy I bought a house when interest rates were like 2.8%. I'm never fucking moving. You're gonna have to force me out of this house. Anyway.
Well, I was surprised.
I'm very
I was surprised VA it can't be that different from Tennessee's cost of living.
Well, just outside of DC, dude, it's fucking insane. Let me tell you. Like, if you're 30 minutes from DC, a 3-bedroom house that's like anywhere in Fairfax County, Falls Church area, If you have a yard, you're paying over 600 grand, no problem.
Ooh, Steve, let me tell you what I did today.
That's for a shack.
Let me tell you real quick. Let's see. Well, in the past 2 days, I dropped $100 to get my yard mowed.
Yep.
I dropped.
Damn. All right. You can do better than that. I pay $60 to get my yard mowed. Cal, you can do better. Go ahead.
I have a big yard.
Okay.
And then second of all, I have a deck, and it had a bunch of stuff on it that I needed cleared off, and I didn't want to do it myself, so I had to pay.
Like a deck guy.
Yeah. I paid I have a deck, son.
Yeah, you seem like a deck guy. No, it's a good thing. You seem like you like a chill on the deck guy. Yeah. We need to we need to get the setup on the deck one day, Cal. We need to do a call in like we're on remote from the deck. Come on, please.
I didn't invite you to the cookout, Steve. You can't see my deck.
I'm not invited to the cookout.
That sounded wrong. Say it.
Wait,
it took Ken like multiple years to get that invite.
Stop the presses, Cal. I'm not invited to the cookout.
Of course you are, Steve.
Fuck yeah! All right, let's go. Continue. Sorry,
you gotta look like Jesus, though.
Thank you. But I feel so much better now. All right, continue.
Give me a couple more minutes. I paid $100 to get the yard mowed. I paid $175 a day to get my deck cleared off because I had a bunch of stuff I needed to get off on there. I didn't feel like doing it myself, and I paid for that to get done. Then I turned around today and paid $130 to the guy come out and square up my hedges that make a screen for my yard. I don't know if any of y'all know what the hell I'm talking about, but the hedges make a screen for your yard. Anyway, I had him straighten them up and cut down some stumps that was cut further down, cut some stumps in the yard. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is I spent an exorbitant freaking amount of money in the past 2 days.
Yeah.
I'm going to feel it later, but it's things that needed to be done. And it makes me
But it looks good now, though, right?
It does look good.
Now, how long is it going to look that way, do you think?
I know that's the downside. You have to break down. You have to break it down.
No. I'm asking, what's an estimate? Like, do you get a month out of this?
Well, with the lawn, now the hedges and all that, they're good. They'll be good for the rest of the summer. But with the lawn, I'm talking about $100 every 2 weeks out. I'm talking if I want to keep it looking good, keep it looking nice, and keep up with the Joneses. You know that whole
Fuck
thing.
the Joneses.
Well, I've been here for a long time.
I get it, Cal. I get it.
My family.
I get it.
I
get it.
I gotta represent. I gotta have my shit look.
The key, folks, if you're fortunate enough to be able to buy a house in this godforsaken country and economy, if you can find a place without an HOA, you're fucking golden. That's one of the reasons I will never move, man. I got a house in a neighborhood where I don't have an HOA. I can do whatever the fuck I want to my house, and no one can tell me otherwise.
Yeah, dude, I own my shit. Nobody can tell me what to do.
Hell yeah,
motherfucker black if I wanted to. You know what I really want to do? I swear to God, y'all gotta. Now I'm telling y'all to cut me off because I don't know if I say this, but what I really.
All right, well, hold on now. Be careful, Cal.
Wait a minute.
Don't incriminate anybody.
I'm gonna try to do this as general as I can. What I really want to do, I've got 2 houses where I'm at, and there's a third house there. I own these 2. As a third one, I wish I had enough money so I could buy the third house.
Feudal lord.
So I could buy the third house and make it my own because they're all on a hill. And if I could buy
the
third house,
yeah, okay.
Wait a minute. I promised my mother. Well, I didn't promise her. I told her this as a joke when she was alive. That if I bought that house, the third house, it's all on a hill. That I would put it. It's like a street sign because I would own the entire hill. So it'd be in my right to put it on my property at the beginning of that hill and have a street sign with the green with the white letters that said N-word hill on it.
Oh, Jesus.
Just so everybody would know that's mine.
Yeah.
We were this close, Cal. God damn it, we made it 3 hours without.
They don't. Yeah, they definitely don't. They don't cover that in the HOA. That's for sure. They don't.
That is not bad. That I'm telling you.
I didn't know Cal was gonna be like a feudal lord. He has like all this land and everything. Like, goodness
it's not
gracious.
that big. I have two houses with. I don't even know. I can't even tell you roughly.
All right, well, if shit goes bad, we'll call Cal if we need a place to stay. But
it's in Tennessee, and yes, I do have plenty of room. I've told Ken this plenty of time.
Okay, well, it's good to know. Look, everyone, you know,
only thing he wants to know is what Waffle House I'm going to take
the
him
Little
to.
Sisters of the Poor, Cal's, you know, shelter home. So it's good to know, Cal. You're a saint. Thank you so much.
Well,
You
back
one
on.
hell of a way to bring it home, Cal. One hell of a way to bring it home.
Cal revealing that he's the enemy of the housing market was a really great way.
No. I got lucky with this, son. Unfortunately, this was left to me, so I lost something in the way of getting these games.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. No, we understand.
I did not earn it in any way, Alden. I do not want you to think that.
No. As is the case with way too many of us nowadays, Cal. As is the case.
That was a little bit. My family, we have a little bit of generational wealth that came to us because our family worked hard and did the American dream. We didn't just inherit it. Anyway, I did. I don't even know if I'll play it anymore. But you see what the fuck I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cal,
but anyway. Y'all doing a good job. I'm glad you brought back on so I did not throw a tantrum, by the way.
No, you did not at all.
No, that was a comment tantrum.
Yeah, no.
Your
pet. Look, dude, the fact that you're here and passionate about that makes me so happy. Cal.
Hey, well, here's the thing, man.
Well, anything would make Steve happy right now.
This is blathering.
Shut up. Yeah.
This is the blathering. This is what it's all about. Everybody's here for Ken. We all love Ken.
We all love Ken. Pour one out for Ken. I'm empty, but pour one out for Ken.
Real. But we're here for Ken, and any endeavor that's going to involve is going to have the blathering involved in it.
The blackering is a show we will not be launching.
Well, hold on now.
Mostly
hold
because
Al, if you want in on something, we might be able to move something there. We
haven't hired the right talent for that yet. But look, you were made a lord by 8984
community coming after me. Anyway.
I mean, he is a little lord. He owns like multiple pieces of land. Like he is a lord.
Said that. Now y'all making a thing of it.
Please, Lord.
Cal, you know I'm kidding.
Anyway, but no, man. Yeah. Get the hell out of here.
Cal,
we're gonna bring it home.
We love you. It's time to go.
I love y'all, and I know it is time to go. This is 3 hours. This is
3.5 hours, Cal. Ken is shaking his head at us, thinking to himself, "What the hell are these guys doing?"
Ken doesn't realize the potential. That's the thing. Y'all just showed him. You just unlocked it. We can go. The platter. We get Ken in here. We get more people in here, and you can go for fucking ever. But anyway,
well, one day a full team Blatherthon will happen.
BlatherCon
at a later date. BlatherCon would be in Burbank, but it's just the 7-Eleven near Ken's house.
I have a child. It's hard for me. I can't even get to the movies. You want me to get all the way to Burbank?
Why can't your child should just rip tickets? 2-year-olds love to rip shit. 2-year-olds love ripping.
It does. No, man, I can't give her a kids menu at the restaurant. She just tears that shit to pieces, and then we're not quite at the point where we can use crayons. She just tries to eat them. So
hell yeah.
All right.
The ulcer is coming. That's it.
You have a good.
The ulcer's coming. Yeah, it's time.
Godspeed, Cal.
Have a good what is it? Weekend? What is it?
Sure. It's Happy Mother's Day, Cal. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there.
Yeah.
Indeed.
All you.
Well, I will say this, since
on the East Coast at least.
Everybody spend time with your mothers because you never know. You never know.
Absolutely.
You never know how long you have.
Absolutely.
I was.
Land the plane, Cal. We love you.
I'm landing it. I was 36 when my mother died, and there was so many conversations.
God, you made me look like an asshole now. You can't say that after I say land the plane.
Anyway, all right, the plane is landed. I'll see you later.
I love you, Cal. Boys. Thank you.
See y'all.
Thank you for being here.
All right. So for Brady, for Jared, for Plume, Cal, Osvetnik, Jerry, Scotty, Tully, Eli. We already said Cal. We already said Tully. I just want to make sure that everybody that was here.
I can see Alden's eyes getting.
I'm like going up and down the whole. I just want to make sure that everybody knows that we appreciate you for spending
so much.
3.5 hours. Also, y'all need to. What are you guys doing? Come on, you guys can't go out on Saturday night.
Yeah, really. See, that's hey, I have an excuse. I have a kid sleeping upstairs. I don't have anything else I can do.
I have an excuse too. I live in Central Florida. There ain't shit going on here. Anyway, Steve, it's your stream, baby. Close us out. Let us know what's going on.
Oh, please. Yeah. Thank you, Alden. Thank you, sir, for being here on the fly. You swooped in like a freaking superhero saying, hey, dude, let's do something fun. I'm so happy that we pulled this together. No, you're the best. Literally, we hadn't met until 10 minutes before this. And hey, we did it for 3.5 hours. So I think we had a good time.
For sure.
Thank you to everyone who's been watching, who has watched. We've been having great viewers this whole time. The chat has been going off the whole time. Thank you, Ken Plume, for babysitting and making sure that we didn't go too far off the rails. Thank you to everyone who called in. So sorry to Scotty Jero. I saw him in the call thing. He was driving. I hope you didn't get into an accident and die or anything, Scotty. I'm sure you're fine. But call in next time. Check in on one of these other shows. I would have loved to have you, Scotty. I'm a huge fan. I am getting your book, all that kind of stuff. So awesome for that. What the hell else we have to plug? Ken, I don't have Ken's thing, like the graphic for it, because I'm not a paid producer, but Ken is doing a show on May 3rd. Mark Ellis at Flappers. Please check that out if you're local. Follow Ken on everything. We'll have the card up here when we end, but follow Alden on Blue Sky and all of his stuff. Casually Talk is coming back soon. One of the best things talking Game of Thrones out there. It's freaking amazing. I love when you guys put out stuff. Alden's doing so many awesome things. And I think Ken is making progress in the basement. He should be, like I said, he should be up by Monday. So you guys, there should be a live blathering on Monday on the main blathering channel. We just started this channel. We don't have any super chats or anything like that. If you want to support stuff, throw it at Ken's way. Our boy needs a pick me up. Let's pour one out to Ken. And we wouldn't have done stuff here for 3 hours without Ken. So I just want to say thank you so much.
For you, humble as you are, the only thing you didn't plug was yourself. At producer Steve. Blue Sky. That's social. Go hire. I was gonna say go hire Steve. Well, I mean, hire him too. I mean, yeah, whatever you want to do.
We'll hire.
Whatever you want to do. I mean, you want to give him some money. That's fine. But yeah, absolutely. Follow Steve. Anytime we'll be back Friday. Casually soon.
Yes, you guys are on next Friday, right?
Yeah, we'll be on next Friday.
Awesome. Sweet.
Shout out Pope Leo. It really should have been Pope Steve, but that's fine. And that's it. Close us out, man.
We didn't get to sports this time, but we're gonna do it next time. Alden, I'm gonna get you. We're gonna find a way to seduce you into sports. Next time we'll have better wheel topics. We don't know when the next show will be. We'll figure it out. That's the whole point of this channel. Is it can be whenever, whatever. Let's just have fun. So thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Alden. Thank you, everybody.
Good night, y'all.
Take care. Peace out.